presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are Southwest.
This ball hit well out to center field. Dyson on the run, and that one is out of here. Carlos Gomez, his first game back, and that's a 3-run bomb. Rangers' victories appear to be linked with healthy bats returning to the lineup. A good sign for the skipper and for Ranger faithful. A full bushy-tailed lineup couldn't be coming at a better time, as the Rangers are in the midst of 20 straight contests. Next up, it's another date with a divisional foe today here in Arlington. And welcome to Rangers baseball presented by AT. It is a warm Saturday afternoon here at Globe Life Park. It's the holiday weekend as well. The Rangers wearing the baby blues this Father Day weekend. Seattle Mariners, Texas Rangers. Middle game of our 3-game series. Folks trying to stay cool out in the stand. Welcome in, everybody. Great to be with you once again this afternoon. I'm Dave Raymond with CJ Nikowski. Rangers won the opener yesterday, convincing fashion. A lot of offense yesterday. You get the sense this team maybe getting healthy for once. And on top of it, Carlos Gomez back in the lineup yesterday, and he had a big night.
He did, and it really is good to see this entire lineup, much like John Daniels envisioned before the season started. They're back together, but Carlos Gomez packs so much punch in that swing. He is extremely aggressive, does not matter what the count is, and if you give him a pitch to hit, this is what he can do to it. The big home run to dead center field last night, but more importantly, the 2-for-5 night with those 4 RBIs. He was great. I think now for opposing pitchers, they have to worry just a little bit more that this is a complete lineup in Texas.
All right, so Gomez announced his presence again in this lineup yesterday. Maybe Napoli will do the same today. It is a hot one. The wind is blowing today. Makes for kind of an interesting pitching matchup this afternoon.
It will, because both of these pitchers, in Gallardo and Martin Perez, are contact pitchers, and so the ball will be put in play. Gallardo especially is a fly ball pitcher, so that could be a little bit of an issue as you see what these guys have done against their opposing teams. For Martin Perez, though, he's going to have to deal with Nelson Cruz, and certainly Rangers fans are very familiar with him, and you think about what he has done over the course of his career. But such a great RBI hitter, especially this season. How about this? Hitting .349 with runners in scoring position. He knows how to do damage when the opportunities are there. And so Martin Perez is going to have to be very, very careful with a dangerous middle of the lineup that is led by the great Nelson Cruz.
Well, speaking of opportunity, the Rangers have taken advantage of the Seattle Mariners, at least when they have played here at Globe Life Park. We'll have that record in the spotlight when we come back. AT&T Internet. Visit AT&T.com/keepcalm to learn more. And by Southwest. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. Wow, what a day out of Globe Life Park. Lots of sunshine today, plenty of heat as we get ready for this middle game in our 3-game series. How do you know if the guys are ready? That's how you know.
Yeah, look at that. Back-to-back homers right there.
Yeah, so they're ready to go. Look, the Rangers at home against the Mariners have always been ready to go. It is time for our Shiner Light Blonde Spotlight.
Yeah, you love seeing this, right? You think about going up against opponents and being comfortable, especially at home, and having that good record. And really what has happened here lately now, 7 straight. The run differential is a good one to see overall for the year. The Rangers are a +11, so to see how well they've done against the Mariners at home is certainly some good news. And just overall, Adrian Beltre, a .286 hitter. Guys like that against the Mariners just very comfortable against this club. So some good news here as far as what the Rangers have done against the Mariners here in Arlington.
Yesterday, a host of roster moves. Today, more roster moves for the Rangers. And for a little more on that, let's check in with Emily Jones.
Yeah, and some not so good news on that front. Apparently, oblique injuries are contagious because now 3/5 of the starting rotation to start the season is on the IL with some sort of oblique injury. Andrew Kashner, the latest victim. His, though, is very mild in comparison to A.J. Griffin's and Cole Hamels. So the DL move is retroactive to June 15th. When he suffered that injury, and the Rangers then replaced him on the roster with Ernesto Frieri, called up from AAA Round Rock. So Andrew confident that it's not going to be a lingering injury, hoping that it will be healed quickly, guys.
Okay, thanks, Emily. Yeah, everybody sharing, I think, the same feelings on that as we are underway. Strike one delivered to Ben Gamel. Gamel leading it off and has put up just terrific numbers for the Mariners. One of a couple of rookie bats at the top of their order who have been outstanding. The .414 on base percentage is a borderline stunning number that Gamel has been able to provide. A little bit of speed up at the top of the order, and it's 1 and 2.
And when you start to dig in a little bit, you look at Martin Perez's numbers against left-handed hitters. They jump off the page a little bit at .386, but you dig in a little bit further, and we talked about this in his last start. The contact against him has not necessarily been that great, so it's been a little bit more about some bad luck this year.
Gamel strikes out swinging, and that's how we get started this afternoon. Let's take a look at the Seattle Mariners lineup. 33 wins, 36 losses. Gamel, one of the rookies, the other one, Mitch Haniger, who's coming up next. And then in the heart of that order, boy, it's some tough sledding. Cano, Cruz, Seager. Mike Zunino has been great in June for this Mariners team. It's another start at shortstop for Taylor Motter at the bottom of the order. So Perez, a little high to Haniger.
And you'll see Martin Perez's arsenal here, and what he uses, it is predominantly fastballs. It's a good one. It sits around 94 miles an hour, and then the changeup, curveball are kind of the next go-tos there, and you got the slider as well for Martin.
We got Gamel swinging, and now 1 and 1 on Haniger. I mentioned another great start for this young man. .327 average, 5 home runs. Another extraordinary on base average as well, but a roller to shortstop makes for a routine play for Elvis Andrus, 2 away.
And that first play of defense leads us to Rangers defense today, which is delivered to you by DeMontron RV. Nomar Mazara in left, Carlos Gomez in center, Sinchuchu in right, and then it's Adrian Beltre, Elvis Andrus, Ruben Odor, Joey Gallo at first base, and Jonathan Lucroy behind the plate. I got to believe that Jeff Bannister is going to be a little bit careful here back and forth as it starts to get a little bit hotter. We saw, of course, Robinson Chirinos last night hit a big home run batting 9th. Now it's going to be Lucroy. I just think, you know, we're getting there now. It's hot, especially a couple day games. I think you're going to see Jeff Bannister just be a little bit more careful with his catchers, keeping guys fresh, because playing here at home in Texas, when we start to hit this weather, it can be really tough on those guys behind the plate.
Yeah, I mean, but what a luxury that he has, and basically equal confidence in both catchers. Is this one wrapped right up the middle by Cano. 2-out single. The Mariners have the first base runner this afternoon.
You're absolutely right. As we see Robinson Cano hit this slider cutter right back up the middle. A little bit of a smaller slider, and has a tendency to appear as a cutter. And the ground ball right up the middle. But you're right. I mean, Robinson Chirinos is not just your ordinary backup catcher who catches once a week and you sacrifice offense when you do that. They don't have that here with the Rangers. They have two very viable catchers. Robinson Chirinos has done an excellent job. Of course, we know Jonathan Lucroy gets the bulk of the playing time, but when Chirinos' number has been called, he has really delivered.
So a man on for Nelson Cruz. Well, you would just as soon have leading off an inning. He takes a strike from Perez. Average just a skosh under 300 now at 298.
You mix in the Japanese.
What are you talking about?
Did you know skosh means little in Japanese? Skoshi. That's where that word comes from.
That's a Japanese word? I
did
not know. Lined up the middle to Rougned Odor. He hauls it in, and the inning is over. Wow. I'm kind of excited. 11 pitch inning for Martin Perez, and now here come the Rangers. Giovanni Gallardo now to go to work for the Mariners. Let's take a look at the Southwest starting lineup for the Rangers. Back at 500 now, 33 and 33. Chu Andrus and Nomar Mazara back in the lineup today, batting third. And how about those numbers for him? I guess right-handed pitching. Belche Odor Gomez after the big night yesterday. Napoli batting seventh as the DH.
And we'll take a look at the pitch arsenal for Gallardo today to see fastballs there. 54%. That is both the 4 and the 2-seam fastball, and the 2 has been an issue. A .377 batting average against. The slider hasn't been much better at .323, but you'll see what he has been using so far this year and much of what the Rangers can expect today.
Gallardo, the former Ranger, dumps one in there for a strike to Chu. Chu's on base average at 380, continuing to get on at a very nice clip and providing real nice power up at the top of the order as well. Decent shift by the Mariners, playing him to pull to the right side.
Did you see the career numbers for Chu against Gallardo by any chance?
I did not.
1 for 16. Does that surprise you as much as it surprises me? With 7 strikeouts.
Yeah.
For a guy who's obviously, we know in Chu a great contact hitter. Gallardo not necessarily a high strikeout guy, but for whatever reason, over the course of his career, 1 for 16, 7 strikeouts with an .063 batting average against for Chu, against a a righty that's not overpowering.
Right. And
surprising.
To me, that's real unusual. It's unusual because we usually take note of guys who have success against pitchers who are really difficult on everybody. 2 and 2 on Chu. But when you have a guy like Gallardo, and Gallardo's a very accomplished pitcher. I mean, you look through the Milwaukee Brewers media guide, and he holds a number of their franchise records. I mean, he had great success in the National League. It hasn't translated well to the National League, but
American League.
American League.
Sure.
But he has been, an average pitcher in the American League. So that Chu would have that kind of trouble with him is really surprising.
Now, a lot of times you look at small at bats. It's okay. Well, it's 16 at bats. Is it really a big enough sample size? Yeah, it's kind of borderline for me. But it's the 7 strikeouts I think that really stick out. Striking out nearly half the time was really kind of surprising when we know that Chu's a guy who doesn't strike out a lot.
Gallardo used to be a pretty good strikeout pitcher in the National League. 3 consecutive years with better than 200 strikeouts with the Brewers. He bounces it up there to run the count full. Check that, 4 consecutive years that Gallardo turned that trick with the Brewers, 2009 through 2012.
And he was giving the innings too. The first couple of years he did that, it was at 185, and that's certainly very impressive. But even the years that he was up over 200 innings, always been pretty much right around a strikeout per inning. That has really tailed off, as you mentioned, though, since he has gone to the American League.
Full count pitch, and that is strike 3 called, and Chu down looking to start the bottom of the first. And so maybe a little more personal frustration with Gallardo.
This is a good looking pitch here, and you see the slider grip, and it didn't necessarily go side to side at all. Didn't do a ton necessarily from Gallardo, but enough to catch Chu off guard. That pitch just kind of went straight down.
So he gets his first opponent this afternoon, and now here is Elvis Andrus. Elvis checking in at 295. And up there hacking at the first pitch. A pop up on the right side of the infield. Valencia will give way to Robinson Cano, and they're 2 away.
All right, let's take a look at the Mariners defense behind Gallardo this afternoon. In left field, Gamel already in center. Mitch Haniger will be in right. Kyle Seager slugging third baseman at third. And Mata, of course, filling in right now with Gene Segura out. Robinson Cano, Danny Valencia on the right side, and Mike Zunino behind the plate.
Nomar Mazara encouraged into the batter's box by Joe West as he took his time coming up. Just like last night, we saw Elvis Andrus, who was batting third. He did the same thing in the first inning. After a couple of quick outs, did everything he could to take his time getting up there and keep his starter, in the case today of Martin Perez, in the dugout relaxing for a moment. Now Mazara in there and takes a strike. 279 average, 8 home runs. Always the chance to run into one and hit it out of the ballpark. And it's 0-2.
You see this velocity on the slider from Gallardo. That one was 91 miles an hour, so there's not a huge differential from the fastball, which sits around 92, 93, to the slider, which really almost makes it feel and look like a cutter.
Time called. Mazara backs away. My prediction today, by the way, Mazara hits a home run off Gallardo.
Oh, really?
And only 5 head-to-heads, but something about it, I like this matchup for Nomar. 1-2 the count. Gallardo, a guy who in his career, back in the day when he was striking out a lot of guys in the National League, he liked to pitch up. He liked to get strikeouts up, and would occasionally leave one just a little bit up. Ironically, a little bit lower than he would want. The 1-2 pitch. It's 2-2.
I gotta tell you, man, I'm really surprised at this velocity we're seeing on that slider. The one before that was 92. Almost doesn't make sense. I don't know if the gun is running a little hot today, or the body is feeling good, but you see the movement that is on it. But to see him throwing that pitch 90 to 92 miles an hour when all year it's been more like 88 to 90, it's a little concerning if I'm a Ranger right now. If it is indeed coming in that hard. Sometimes you get some funky readings here and there, but the movement on it at that velocity could be very tough for the lefties.
So a chance then, you're saying that the gun might be hot today?
Could be. I mean, listen, everybody's hot.
Everything's hot.
The gun could be sweating a little bit.
95 degrees at game time as Mazara shoots that one into left field. A base hit for Nomar. And the Rangers have a base runner in the first inning. I think it's Adrian Beltre to the plate.
Well, not surprising at all to see Nomar Mazara use the entire field. You just wonder if teams would start shifting a little bit less on him, especially because he's so good. This 2-strike count shortening up a little bit on the 6th pitch of the at-bat, just hitting a nice little ground ball to third base, but nobody home, and instead it's a 2-out base hit.
So now Beltre hitting over 300. Has a home run, has driven in 9. And he takes a ball from Gallardo.
I mean, there were certain ballparks and things have changed a little bit with how we acquire data even within the stadiums. But there were always certain ballparks you would go in and would feel like, the gun's a little bit hot here. Baltimore was always one. Seattle felt like you might get a tick or two up on some pitches.
Beltre serves this one out to right field. Coming on for it, Haniger. It drops in, base hit. Back-to-back singles. And for Adrian Beltre, number 2,957. Creeping closer still to that magic number of 3,000.
Adrian has been so good since he got off the DL. You see the slider grip there from Gallardo. Again, not a lot of movement, but great approach from Adrian, right? Not trying to do too much. Look at that beautiful Adrian Beltre swing that we have seen over the years, but just driving this ball to left field. Not trying to pull it, doesn't roll over it. Omar Mazara, even though there were 2 outs, pretty difficult for him to try to go to third on that one. Made the right choice.
So a couple of 2-out hits. And now great opportunity for Rougned Odor. And he hits this ball hard out to the gap right center field. Mazara rounds third. He'll score easily. Odor trying for 2. And he is in there with a double. Throw back behind Beltre, and he's able to get a hand back in. So the Rangers get the first run of the afternoon on 3 consecutive singles. It's 1-0.
Well, they do, and you love the approach from Rougned Odor, who's not going to wait around and jump on a first pitch because he knows all of a sudden that Gallardo is getting hit around a little bit. There is another slider in the middle of the plate. And Odor all over it. Maybe the hardest hit ball we have seen so far this inning. And great hustle out of the box. This was a close play, but again, good base runners thinking about these things ahead of time. That's exactly what Rougned Odor was doing. He knows, right? Out of the box, that's a base hit. Can it be 2? And he's watching it. The whole play is in front of him the entire time. And it's great hustle and great timing. I mean, just think about how close that was. It is amazing with these guys, what they can see and what they know. Just tremendous hustle with 2 outs by Odor.
Now, my concern was, would he get in there? Would the play come to conclusion at second base anyway before Mazara would score? Because it was very close in that regard, is Gomez.
And how about this? So we know Odor right now, batting average down a little bit, 217 coming into this game. But you start to wonder if guys start to look at their own numbers and say, should I mix it up a little bit? Coming into this game, 341 on the first pitch. So you just wonder about that a little bit. Will he get a little bit more aggressive earlier in the count?
Gomez was aggressive on the first pitch he saw. Aggressive last night to the tune of 4 RBIs. And he takes strike 2 from Gallardo.
Now, part of that, you can't just swing at the first pitch all the time, obviously. A lot of it has to do with the opposing pitcher, and you got to do your homework and say, okay, well, what have I done against this guy in the past? It's been 6 at-bats for Odor versus Gallardo over the course of his career, but also you start to look at strike percentage. Gallardo's pretty good at 61% on the year, so you know there's a pretty decent chance you're going to get a strike first pitch.
0-2 pitch, and that one is rolled up the middle, base hit. Beltre's in, Odor on his heels. A 2-run single for Carlos Gomez. And what a start this afternoon for the Rangers.
We talked about Carlos Gomez in the open and what a difference he makes in this lineup. And there was another slider and one with some little movement that was down, and all of a sudden it seemed like, oh, I was worried, was the velocity of that slider going to be an issue? Well, it's not. Carlos Gomez hits this ball right back up the middle. Another great approach. I mean, how about these base hits? Nomar Mazara opposite field to left. Adrian Beltre opposite field to right. Odor gets a pitch to pull. He smokes it to right field. Carlos Gomez takes it up the middle. Very, very nice job all the way around here in those 4 at-bats. And all of a sudden the Rangers opening things up here in the first inning.
Boy, Mel Stottlemyre already with a visit to the mound. 4 consecutive 2-out hits. And Napoli will get his first look at Gallardo. First they check in on Gomez. Napoli just back yesterday off the disabled list. 1 for 4 last night. And he watches a ball from Gallardo. Napoli, oddly enough, you'd figure with as much as these two have played in the league together that they would have seen one another. Not true. First at bat against Gallardo, and he fouls it off. It's 1-1.
Yeah, that is very surprising.
A couple of guys that have been around for a long time, even if it is in different leagues between interleague and as much as now guys hop leagues as well. Gallardo spending these last few years in the American League. Hard to believe they've never matched up.
Another check-in of Gomez, who has 5 steals this year in 7 attempts. Just back off a right hamstring strain. Missed a month of time, but yesterday drove in 4 runs in his first game back. He likes to run. One. And that ball launched out to left field. Gamble going back. He looks up. Out of here! A 2-run shot by Napoli, number 12 on the year. Rangers lead it 5-0.
Well, how much fun is it to watch this Ranger lineup when it is completely healthy, and something we have not seen much of it all this year. Another slider from Gallardo, who continues to throw that pitch, and although velocity is up, the movement necessarily is not there, and the Rangers are teeing off on it right now. But and how many times have we seen Beltre, Carlos Gomez, and Mike Napoli in the lineup at the same time? You could count it on one hand, and this is the damage that they are capable of doing. And not only that, how about all of it with 2 outs?
Yeah, that's, to me, that is the big piece of this, is Jonathan Lucroy, 8th place hitter, up in his first inning. And he takes a strike from Gallardo. So Gomez and Napoli back last night, and both of them contributing huge already. It's 1-1 on Lucroy. Jonathan at 275, 4 home runs. And Lucroy, good game last time out, 2 for 4 with a couple of RBIs. Working on a little 4-game hitting streak. Bounces this one up the middle. Second baseman Cano behind the bag and has plenty of time to get Lucroy to end the inning. But how about the Rangers in the bottom of the first inning? Rougned Odor drives in the first run. Carlos Gomez adds 2 more. And Mike Napoli with a 2-run bomb. Yeah, don't do a double take on that screen there. 5-0. We're just now going to the second inning. Great start this afternoon for the Rangers. Time for our Kubota power stats. How about Rangers starters the last week now? A 281 earned run average as a crew. 4 quality starts in there, and the numbers have just been dazzling.
And not surprising when you see how well the Rangers have played, that the Rangers starters have been contributing in big ways. Those two things, I believe, go hand in hand, along with the good offense, good defense that they've been playing over this time as well. But yeah, starters have been coming through.
Now a little extra cushion from Martin Perez after putting up a goose egg in the top of the first. Gets ahead of Kyle Seager here, 0-2 to start the second.
Yeah, just like that. Only 1 inning into this game, he has already passed the amount of runs that he usually gets. That run support average has been right around 3.5 runs per game. And so, yeah, he is thrilled right now. He's got 5 to work with.
Only needed 11 pitches in the first inning to get his job done. Goes back after Seager, but misses low. 1-2 the count. Seager, a very good hitter, 260 average, 7 home runs.
Yeah, and you see what he's done against Martin Perez over the course of his career. Just one of those lefties that has gotten good swings. You talk about the lefty numbers not being great for Martin, but I also mentioned a lot of that this year has been, I think, some bad luck, some bad contact balls that have fallen in. But in the case of Kyle Seager, not necessarily the case. He's been pretty comfortable against Martin over the course of his career.
So it was ahead 0-2. Has now gone 2-2 on Seager. And this ball hit sharply on the ground to second base. A deep second base, and Odor takes care of Seager. 1 out in the second. You were asking last night about whether or not shifts are taking away hits.
Yep.
Giving us did that
that's
particular shift? What do you think?
I mean, that falls into that same category for me. You know, when you think about it, he's so deep, and looking at it right here, is this a routine ground ball to second base or not? Now, you know, he would have been over a couple steps because it's a lefty. It's close. So no doubt that they will count that as, you know, a shift aided.
Win.
Yeah, shift aided out. Yep.
Well, now Denny Valencia. Valencia batting 6th today, 265 average. So I mean, let's go back to the good old days of like 5-6 years ago. You'd have been playing a little deeper on that side because he's a left-handed hitter.
Yep. And
shaded maybe a little more toward first because he's a left-handed hitter. So just the traditional shading, I guess, as you would. I think he would have made that play.
Probably, yeah. I mean, you know, we call it extreme shifting now, and even there's certain places that'll break it up into shifts and extreme shifts. And anytime you put a guy 20 feet deep in the outfield, I'd call that extreme.
Now, liner to short, or rather a one hopper to short, taken care of by Andrews. 2 gone. So Martin Perez with 3 ground ball outs early on. You're doing a great job in that regard. And I think that's when you watch Martin Perez pitch, that's what we're always looking for, right? If you're getting ground balls early, might be a sign of a good afternoon to come.
Yeah, I think a good sign of the 2-seam fastball. His ground ball rate this year is right around league average, 45%. For him, the league average is usually right around 44. So for him, yes, early on, I think it's a good indication that the 2-seam fastball is working pretty well. That's the pitch he uses most. Now, the batting average against on that pitch has been pretty high this year at 324. He has allowed 3 home runs. But when he is locating it well, it's a really good pitch.
Working to Mike Zunino here, goes 1-1. Zunino with 6 home runs, a 313 on base average. Not likely to work a count for a walk. Certainly not as likely as he is to chase a pitch and strike out. 11 walks to 62 strikeouts for Zunino. Though he has been a whole lot better lately. 1-2, a little tight. That's a pretty good June for Zunino. Only Gary Sanchez has driven in more runs so far this month.
Pretty unbelievable how quickly we forgot about Gary Sanchez with Judge in town, isn't it?
Well, there's a swinging strikeout of Zunino. Second strikeout today for Martin Perez. And we've played 1.5. 5-0 Rangers.
for our State Farm winning combination, and it features the guy at the plate right now, Joey Gallo. And his winning combination is learning to embrace his game. He says, I don't want to compare myself to anyone. A lot of people want to try the Adam Dunn thing. He said, I just am a unique player, and I'm starting to embrace that. I try not to pay attention to the batting average. Yes, that's a number, and it's not where I want it to be, but I'm more interested in RBIs and OPS. Those are the two stats that I pay attention to. He said he just finally embraced it this offseason, that he was going to be a unique player. There was going to be a little bit of unconventionalness to him, and he's okay with that. And I think you've seen him get more comfortable here at the big league level, and a big part of that is being able to embrace the fact that he is a unique guy, guys.
Love it. I love that. For, you know, what happens is people will put comps on you. Scouts do it all the time, and it's good for scouting. You look at a player and say, well, who can he be? Who was he like? That's great. But once you get to the professional level, and especially to the big leagues, you got to embrace your strengths, and you don't necessarily have to be, well, I'm going to try to be like this guy. That's a huge mistake to make. Look at your skill set, do what you do best, embrace it. You know, as long as your organization is behind it, and don't worry about when people try to say, well, what kind of player are you, or who do you compare to? It doesn't matter. And Dave Raymond, that's really great advice just for life in general. Would you not agree?
I would agree.
Just be yourself. You don't have to conform to anything.
Big swing and a miss, 1-2 the count.
Well, there's certain rules you have to conform to, but you know what
Several. There's like 4. But that's it. Gallo at 201, but as we just noted, who cares? He's got the 301 on base. His OPS is even better. That's his on base plus slugging. Now he strikes out here to start the second inning, and there's one away. I like that. I do like the observation. Also, you know, he was telling us in Washington when he got back together with his old teammate Bryce Harper that it was Harper who caught him in front of a mirror. They were working out, and he was kind of doing a slow-mo of his swing, looking at his swing, looking at himself in the mirror, and Harper walked up to him and was like, bro, what are you doing? Who cares? Just don't worry about the little things, this, that. Just go up there and hit the ball like you know you can hit the ball. Be natural, be yourself. And he continues to take that type of advice, that type of approach, and it's worked. I love the fact, I just like the image, though, of Harper catching him at the mirror.
And do you think,
looking at his swing?
I'm just wondering if Joey looks over him and says, listen, little guy. I mean, like the two of those guys in front of the mirror. I mean, listen, Bryce Harper's not a small guy, but Joey Gallo pretty much dwarfs everyone not named Giancarlo Stanton and Aaron Judge in the big leagues.
1-1-2. And he taps this one on the ground foul, just wide of the bag down there at first. Chu struck out looking in the first inning. Continuing a little personal frustration he has had with Giovanni Gallardo. One of those odd little matchup numbers we talked about in the first inning, where he just has not had the kind of success one would expect he would against Gallardo. Gallardo, 31 years old, born in Mexico, but now lives right nearby here in Fort Worth. Chu asked for time. It's granted by Joe West. After Joe West, our plate umpire this afternoon.
A little bit of a rough night at first base. Had 2 calls that were overturned. I don't think it affected his confidence at all.
I don't think so either. Bouncer up the middle by Chu. And there you go, a base hit for Chu off Giovanni Gallardo. All right, celebrate the 4th of July with America's pastime and coming out to the ballpark. Rangers and Red Sox, a 7:05 game, and then enjoy a 4th of July fireworks show after the game presented by Honda. You get your tickets today, TexasRangers.com, or by calling 972-RANGERS. If you are American, or even if you just simply like America, that seems like the thing to do. You come to a ball game and you see a fireworks show.
You're making a mistake if you didn't do it.
So man on, here's Elvis Andrus. Elvis popped up in the first inning. He's 0 for 1. Rangers with a 5-run bottom of the first. All 5 runs came with 2 out. Look over there at Chu, who does have 6 stolen bases.
It's been efficient too. Just caught twice. Looks a little extra faster in those socks.
Oh, man.
And the shoes, for that matter.
Yeah. I'm not envious of a whole lot of the stuff, right? I mean, it's cool. Of course, it'd be neat to have some things. I'm envious of those kicks and those socks right there.
It's a good look. By the way, we talked about James Paxton yesterday. 0 for 0 stolen bases. Gallardo, same thing.
Oh, well, that's not going to last a whole lot longer either. 2 with a decent lead, and he's leaning. He goes, and a bouncer to shortstop. Takes forever to get to Mater, and his only play will be to first. Takes care of Andrews, 2 away.
Well, we've seen a lot of hit and runs with Elvis Andrews, and especially with Chu on first, and that's what this was here. Elvis ends up pulling that ball. In that deal situation, a ground ball to the right side. It's wide open, but didn't work out that way.
So now Nomar Mazara. Oh, man at second with 2 out. Chance to drive in a run. Nomar with 44 RBIs coming into play today. And he takes ball 1.
Check this out with Nomar Mazara and how good he has been with driving the ball the other way. This is his last 14 games at home. The gaudy, 431 batting average. He's been very comfortable. What sticks out to me, though, is he's not dead pull. That's why he's having the kind of year that he is having. 14 of those hits to left or center field. It's been fun to watch Nomar.
Pulls this one out to right. Cano there, and retires Mazara to end the inning. So the Rangers leave a man in scoring position. We've played 2. Big early lead. Brought to you by T-Mobile. Jeff Samardzija doing what big strong pitchers do, and that is hitting bombs. Longest by a pitcher the last couple of years. Eric Thames, a game-winning 9th inning home run consecutive nights now for the Brewers, who, by the way, Milwaukee with a 2.5 game lead in the National League Central going into play today. They've won 4 straight. And now we watch Heredia go 1-1 here in the 3rd inning. And then Victor Martinez, you saw really frightening news. Hospitalized and put on the disabled list yesterday by the Tigers with the irregular heartbeat.
Yeah, a little scary there, Victor Martinez. And we certainly hope that doesn't turn into anything serious and gets diagnosed and find out exactly what's going on. But I can imagine his family a little bit concerned when you hear that.
1-2 pitch, and that one just foul by Heredia. In the lineup today in center field, Heredia, .269 average, 4 home runs. We saw him come in last night as a late inning replacement. He waits on a 1-2, and it is low.
So we're talking about, we showed that Jeff Samardzija homer, right? And talking, or just, you know, showed that he hit it or whatever in the StatCast era. Well, I had a conversation with the guy. I said, you know, we kind of poke fun at StatCast era using that phrase because
right.
You said it's only been the last couple of years. Well, I had a tweet from a guy. He said, well, you know, we say things like post World War II era, we say modern era, you know, dead ball era. I said, yeah, we do. We just don't say it 2 years after it happened, right? We get through that era. A bunch of time passes by, and then we say, oh, yeah, that era, right? A little early. I know, I get it. Now Major League Baseball has done a great job with what they're doing with StatCast and trying to change the conversation a little bit and the language, but it always feels like, hey, we're just ignoring the other, you know, 130 years of baseball when we say that.
Another foul ball by Heredia keeps count 2-2. Well, the other distinction there is that those eras are eras because the game was played a certain way or identified now statistically in a certain way. Yeah, the dead ball era is the dead ball era because the ball was dead.
it was just a sock with some duct tape, and they kept using the same one the whole game.
Right. 2-2.
I mean, remember back when baseball first started, you could catch a ball on one bounce, and it was an out.
And it was an out, right?
Yeah, things have since changed.
There was also a time where in the newspaper recounts of the game, the stats in the box score were how many hands, which is how many outs you made.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? So as a first baseman, you had a lot of hands that day, which is great. But it just does, you know, it doesn't relate to today. And so anyway, those eras were divided up because they kind of work inside that era. The numbers are comparable. The style of play was comparable. But the StatCast era is just a way to measure things. The game hasn't really changed. Although, all right, now I'm going to take this one step further with you.
All right.
Maybe the game has changed during the StatCast era because of StatCast and guys measuring their launch angle and their velocities and spin rates and whatnot. So, I mean, maybe one day we will look back and say, no, the StatCast era was a very real era.
Yeah, but I think it'll have a different name. It'll have something to do with the home runs and the strikeouts, right? Or it'll be the what do we call the
three true outcomes era?
3 true outcome or something like that.
2-2, and Heredia battles and hits this one out to right field, and Chu can't quite get up high enough for it. Heredia will cruise to second with a line drive double to right. That thing just kept rising on Chu and did all he could to get back on it, just couldn't get high enough.
This is about as tough as it gets when it comes to playing right field in any ballpark, but even here in Arlington. This is a line drive off a left-handed bat right at Chu, and you see that first step was a little bit in, and then he got kind of squared up where he was trying to then backpedal and catch that baseball, and he ended up just missing. It actually wasn't even out of his reach. You see how it hit the side of his glove, so it was just a matter of which way his glove was turned. But that is a really, really difficult play coming off that left-handed bat. The reason I think he probably missed out on that side of his glove is that ball had a little bit of movement toward the right field line and kind of curving that way, coming off the right-hander's bat. And right field here has always been tough to play. I know the wind isn't as bad and doesn't carry as much, but this has always been a tough right field because of the way the ball can carry.
So Motter now, 9th place hitter. Averages dip below 200 for Taylor Motter, 199 coming into play. The low on base average as well, but he has had to fill in at shortstop for this team, and very critically so. 1-1 the count. Is that one kept close enough by Lucroy? And Heredia holds second. Great at bat by Heredia a moment ago. 10 pitches until he finally got a ball he could drive. 1-1. And this one popped up behind home plate. Falls short of us.
How about these two today? I mean, it is hot. I get it. I love it too. But it's the right day for me to be doing this. But you got basically Prince Fielder catching. You got his buddy who's the umpire with the eye block on, which I don't know if I've ever seen an umpire wear eye block before, but they're in full gear. And there's been times where the catcher will get in front of the umpire. And they'll try to work that setup just like you're seeing in the game. But he'll sit right in front of him. He's a big fella. And it's hot out. I don't want a guy kneeling in front of me with all that equipment on. They're having fun, man. They're enjoying the game. Good for them. They were able to get all that equipment past security, no problem. But I mean, at some point, better question: what inning are those masks off? When are they mailing it in? There's no way they go 9 innings.
Well, I mean, full count now on Mater. If you've gone into the third with those things on, my guess is you're pretty well committed to this thing.
They'll be off by the top of the 6th inning.
Or maybe you should be committed.
Yeah. It's also an available option. Say top 6, they're done.
Top 6, yeah.
Too hot.
Yeah, they might be rolled out. They might need help at that point. This ball well hit out to right field and carries all the way to the base of the wall in right. So Mater with a double, and it gets Heredia to the plate, and the Mariners are on the board. It's a 5-1 game.
Well, after falling behind 1-2, Taylor Mater was able to get himself in a 3-2 count and get a pitch that he can handle, and took the right approach. As you see the two-seam fastball grip, but it was elevated a little bit, which gave Mater that opportunity to drive the ball to right. You see the way that swing came down, created excellent backspin. He actually caught the bottom half of the ball, but we talk about that sometimes. We watch the Mike Napoli home runs and his ability to generate backspin on the baseball. That's what that was. And when that happens, you have a chance to cut the wind. That's what Taylor Mater did. So wind is howling here today at Globe Live.
The top of the order for Gamble now. Now look at those things.
There was a fly ball to left earlier that Gamble was actually chasing down the line. I think it was off of the bat of Nomar Mazara. It was 15-20 rows deep to the left of him. So I think guys are having a little bit of a hard time potentially reading some fly balls today because of that wind.
And as we know, it's not uncommon in most big league ballparks. There's not just one direction for the wind in a ballpark. You can't just say, well, everything's blowing left to right. And the flag's way up high. They tell us a little bit. They certainly tell us that it's blowing with some gusto. But when that wind dips into the stadium, depending on what direction it's from which it's coming, I mean, it does all sorts of different things here. This ball hit well out toward right. Chu to his right and hauls it in. Tagging, trying for second, Mater, and he is just in there ahead of the throw. One away, but Mater now 90 feet away at third.
Just a couple of nice throws by Chu. Unfortunately, just there wasn't time to be able to get the runner at second when Mater first hit that double. And then here, these were just a little bit too deep. But watch him here. Gets around this ball. A little bit of a hesitation, but a pretty good throw. And you see Adrian Beltre trying to play it cool, like there wasn't going to be a play, and hoping that maybe he could get Mater to pull up a little bit.
So 1 out. Mater at third base, and Haniger takes one in the dirt. So second time through the order now for Martin Perez. He got Haniger to ground out of the first inning. Out of the first inning, Perez used 11 pitches. The second inning, he used 13. Both very efficient. It's his 20th pitch here in the third. So bogging down just a little bit now in his third inning. Tapper toward third base, and Beltre looks the runner, goes to first, and takes care of Haniger. Mater holds third base. 2 out now. Time for us to take a moment for a Chevy game break. Let's send it back to Rick Renner.
Second baseman Robinson Cano.
Yeah, thanks, Rick. We caught the Blue Jays, seemed to me like at a bad time a couple of weeks ago when we went through Toronto. They were playing well, kind of on the bounce back.
You got Tulo and Josh Donaldson back, right, during that series off the DL. You're right. They were playing some pretty good baseball. We thought at the time, we looked at them and said, you know what, they're starting to get their team back together, and the division is tight. They may have a chance to hang in there, but they're struggling now. So certainly would be good to see them kind of get swept, come into Arlington a little bit cold. I don't think anybody would be complaining about that.
So if they come in limping, a little bit like the Rangers went into Toronto after a tough series in Boston, and you look at the Rangers now, having gotten a couple of big pieces back in their lineup, it's almost a complete inverse of the last time we saw one another. If the Rangers can continue to play well here against Seattle, 1-1 on Robinson Cano. Now Martin working hard in this third inning. This will be his 25th pitch of the inning after back-to-back doubles got things started. Rangers have won 6 of their last 7 games, so certainly playing a lot better. A lot of that was done on the road. Seattle had come in playing pretty well in addition. They were, what, 12-6 over the last 18 games before dropping the opener last night. Scott Services Club begun to show a little life. They have weathered a whole lot of injury. At 3 games under 500, they're 12.5 out in the American League West. 3 balls and a strike now to Cano.
You know, this season, 162 games is an absolute grind. There's always going to be those ups and downs. Very frustrating as a manager when you don't have your entire roster out there. And I think, listen, there's been a lot of teams that have had it. We've dealt with it here in Texas. We were just talking about the Blue Jays, but that guy right there has had it pretty tough. I mean, as far as no King Felix, no Iwakuma. Paxton was out for a while. He's back now, but doesn't quite look the same. Mechanically off somewhat, so it's frustrating for everybody. Watch how far this ball blows into the stands, right? I mean, both of those guys, Adrian Beltre chased after that ball, Nomar Mazara a little bit, and look how far up it ended up going up. Now, on a normal day when the wind's not carrying that ball, if a ball's ending up there, they're probably not even flinching and looking at that baseball. That just gives you an idea of what's going on the left side of the field right now on pop-ups.
Oh, full count now on Cano after that foul ball. Martin with a couple of strikeouts this afternoon. Got a man at third, 2 away. And no one's going to chase after that one. Hit at the club level.
You see all those pitches there. Sorry, dude. You see all those pitches there on the Fox tracks, and a lot of those are that slider from Martin Perez against Robinson Cano. Now, Joe West gave him a call that was pretty far off the plate, and so you think about Martin trying to get back out there a little bit, maybe trying to get a call. Only that one pitch that he threw up and in, but everything else has been down and away against Robinson Cano.
The payoff pitch. And that is ball 4. So there goes Cano. It looked like Joe West was whatever. Not going to bother calling it. Here comes Doug Brocale now. Maybe to give Martin just a little bit of a rest. All right, well, this afternoon we're participating in the Home Run Challenge. Every home run and strikeout in this game raises money for prostate cancer research. Now, since June 1st, almost $3.5 million has been raised in this challenge. You can make a pledge today. Just go to homerunchallenge.org. That's, of course, why we see that the baby blue look from both teams. We will today and then tomorrow. I love it. We were in the clubhouse earlier today. I thought, well, I thought those unis looked pretty good.
It's an important bat now here for Martin Perez. 1 run across already in the 3rd inning, but he's been spotted a nice lead, and we talked about it earlier how great Nelson Cruz is in these situations, what he's done with runners on base, and a guy that's been very comfortable hitting in this ballpark over the course of his career. A .293 hitter. He's got himself 97 home runs. Keep an eye on where Martin Perez will go with the fastball. You can elevate. When you look at Nelson Cruz's strike zone and hot zone, left-handers elevating the fastball has been an area where they have been very successful. He's been good middle and down over the plate.
Finds a corner on Cruz, and the count 0-2. How about that? Talk about a designated hitter. The idea is that they're good hitters. And Cruz is. 13 home runs.
If you're going to designate somebody to do something,
they do it right.
you'd like them to do it well.
Leads the league in RBIs. The 0-2 pitch in the dirt. And his 53 RBIs. Most in the American League, and in a very good spot here with Motter at third, Cano at first base. It's a 5-1 Rangers lead.
And also on Nelson against left-handers, he's actually been pretty good against all off-speed pitches. The curveball and the slider better than a 300 batting average against going back to last year. The changeup is one where there's been a little bit more of a decline, just a 229 batting average against left-handed changeups over the last 2 years.
Just got out of the way of that one. 2-2.
That's a good spot, though. You go up and in, try to get under the hands, go for the swing and miss. If you don't get it as a lefty, it opens up a couple of different options for you. You see this right here. Good location. Nelson Cruz lays off of it. Anytime you do that, a lot of times then you come back, maybe something soft down and away. We'll see if they go to the change.
Swing and a miss. Strike three. Cruz down on strikes. 2 in the third. Martin Perez with his third strikeout of the afternoon. Now in the bottom of the third, Adrian Beltre leads it off. Rougned Odor will follow. And then Carlos Gomez, part of the lineup coming. The order coming against Giovanni Gallardo. Yeah, Adrian Beltre will lead things off here. Picked up a hit already, 2,957. Maybe just a couple of games short of Wahoo Sam Crawford for number 32 all time.
See how K-line there, 29 right, just got over his 3,000. I think we were joking about this last time, but one short of 300 homers, right? So barely gets the 3,000 hits. One short, but that was it. 299 home runs. Great career, Hall of Famer, awesome guy, but like, oh, one more.
Wouldn't there be somebody out there maybe just throw you a cookie in that last game?
Adam Wainwright to Derek Jeter in the All-Star game.
Gotta have friends. Beltre, base hit, scored a run in the first. Trying to clean up again today. Gallardo gets him to swing and miss. The count 1-2. And we talk a lot about the number of hits for Adrian Beltre, and he's headed to 3,000. He's going to get it in the not too distant future. To me, that will do nothing to change his Hall of Fame credentials or status. That's done in my books. 2-2 now the count. When you think about players with 3,000 career hits who spent their entire career, or primarily anyway, at third base, you've got George Brett, 3,154. And Wade Boggs, 3,010. That's it.
How many did Brett have?
3,154.
So Adrian, without a doubt, has it. I don't want to say, should never say without a doubt. Very good chance that he will be the all-time hits leader among third basemen.
Third baseman, yeah. Already played more games there than anybody. Two. And he'll watch one low. It's a full count. I mean, the accolades, obviously, for Adrian, the highlights of his career, so many. He's closing in on 450 career home runs. He's 4 short of that number. Hits this ball on the ground to shortstop. Motter has time, and that is the first out of the 3rd inning.
The second baseman, Rougned Odor.
One away for Rougned Odor. Odor had the big double in the 1st inning. Rangers 2 outs, nobody on in that 1st inning. And then Mazzara and Beltre with back-to-back singles. Odor got the scoring started with the RBI double. Gomez followed with a 2-run single, and then Napoli with the home run. And it happened in a hurry. Gallardo, though, has gathered himself since then. And gets ahead of Odor 0-1.
And you see Odor coming out hacking again. First pitch, and listen, we know he's a free swinger. We know he is aggressive, but that's the place that he has done the most damage. Did it in his first at bat. If I'm an opposing pitcher, off-speed pitches early and probably not in the strike zone.
Holds off here, 1-1. Odor with hits in 9 of the last 11 games. You can make that 10 of 12 now. Was 1 for 4 with a double and a run scored yesterday. And holds off, 2-1. So Odor today slotted in the 5th spot in the order. And we've seen that shift from day to day. Yesterday was batting 6th. At 3-1 now. And it was about 2 weeks ago when Jeff Bannister finally said, all right, we're going to move him out of the 5 spot, drop him down to 7, move Gallo up a little bit, switch him a little bit in the order of left-handers, see if we can get him started. That only lasted a couple of games, and really Odor has responded. Things have come together for him a little bit. The 3-1 pitch fouled back our direction.
He hit well in the 7th spot. It was only 5 games. 21 at bats, but he hit 3 home runs over that time. 333 batting average. OPS was up over 1,200, and I don't know. It's not a long time. Does that help you relax a little bit? Does it, tick you off in the right way? Right? And we know that Jeff Bannister loves the approach of Rougned Odor. Knows, maybe feeling like he knows him well enough to figure out ways to maybe motivate him. Not that he necessarily needs it, or even, like I said, make him a little mad in the right way. Not that he needed to get refocused, but whatever it was, it worked.
He strikes out in this 3rd inning, 2 away.
The center fielder, Carlos.
You see Cole Hamels went out on a rehab assignment last night and did real well.
That was some great news to hear that he was out there, that he not only pitched well, but through the 3 innings, filled up the strike zone, no walks. So those 25 strikes and 35 pitches. Be a couple of more of those, but a good first step. More importantly, how he felt, how he feels today, right? That's what the trainers really want to know. It's one thing to heat up that oblique and stretch it out and get it feeling good and throw those 3 innings, but then where are you the next day? And it looks pretty good to me.
Check swing by Gomez for a strike.
Ooh, now that was interesting. Foul ball. The authenticator caught it. Sitting in the corner now. Does he authenticate that and say first foul ball ever caught?
By an authenticator?
Yeah, which
catch it cleanly, by the way?
In the StatCast error, slow down.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Did he get it cleanly?
He did.
Broken bat liner to 3rd. And that one caught by Seager, who also avoids the bat. Wow. A little bit of a moment down there for Kyle Seager. It's a 1-2-3 inning for Giovanni Gallardo. And we head to the 4th. Go to the fourth inning. And it's time, one last time, really, opportunity for folks, because tomorrow is Father's Day. I'm going to bring Dad out to the ballpark, and you'll get a gift as well, a 205 game, first 15,000 fans 14 and older. We got a Father's Day cheesy Rangers shirt, courtesy of Dr. Pepper and Kroger. Go to TexasRangers.com. Call 972-RANGERS.
This
get
is
those tickets today.
Much better than expected.
Yeah.
The material is nice to keep you cool on a day like today.
Yep.
I mean,
well,
the pattern is fantastic.
I look, it's a lightweight fabric.
Yep.
And it looks like it's polyester, so the colors are going to hold.
It's breathable.
Oh, it's breathable.
This will look great with your jeans.
Costanza would love that. I think the team should wear this tomorrow.
I mean, listen, at least for BP, you see some of the stuff they wear for batting
yeah.
practice. Things have changed in a good way in the big leagues. I don't ever remember wearing a pair of shorts in my years.
High fly ball out to right field. Chu is back, but has room out on the warning track and makes the catch. One away in the fourth inning.
I was going to say, I don't ever remember wearing shorts at the big league level. I know the Marlins were doing it. They were one of the first just because it was so hot down there in Miami. But now it's pretty standard, which I think is a great thing, great idea. But you'll see the guys sometimes wearing those American flag shorts.
Yeah.
Party at Napoli's t-shirt. I'm like, gosh, that is awesome. All about the comfort. But yeah, the dad
cheesy
cheesy shirt
yep.
would be. They got to do it. I know Jeff Bannister's thinking about it. If not, we'll put it in his ear.
Here is Valencia, grounded out in the second inning. It just seems like a no-brainer. Put that bad boy on. And enjoy a Sunday.
I mean, let's be honest. If you could have it your way, we'd probably be wearing those
yes,
tomorrow.
we would.
It's going to be a warm one. Maybe on the plane. How about that?
Not taking any chances on that plane. 3 hits so far today off Martin Perez. 2 of them came back to back. That was in the third inning. A couple of doubles by Heredia and Mater resulted in the only Mariners run so far today. 1 run, 3 hits, no errors for Seattle. Rangers have given Perez a lot of run support. They scored 5 runs on 5 hits in the first. They've added a hit since then. The 1-2 from Perez. Oh, did he go on appeal? No. Hunter Whittlestat.
The pitch before that, the breaking ball in the dirt that Jonathan Lucroy blocked, got thrown out because the ball hit the dirt. It was rolled over to the bat boy, who then flipped it to the authenticator.
Because that's a significant ball.
Seems pretty important to me.
Well, I guess if it doesn't go into the stands to a fan, maybe they all get authenticated. Any ball that comes out of the game. In a way, would you have to, right? If you're going to buy a game used this or that, if it was used, it's got to be authenticated.
But he's marking it down right now.
Yeah,
foul ball, top of the 4th inning, 3-2 count. Here's your pitcher, here's your hitter, and there's your baseball.
There it is.
And there's Emily.
Yeah.
What are you eating over there?
Yeah, what do you got going?
Flower seeds. Yeah, you guys were all concerned about the authenticator. Didn't even mind that I was like 6 inches from being decapitated by that ball.
Well, you were so tucked away down there, staying in your little cool spot, we couldn't quite exactly see you. I'm very curious.
Dill pickle.
We got a chance to ask our authenticator as far as where are all those balls in the dirt going, and maybe what's the going. He probably doesn't know what the going.
I know
rate
where
is.
they're going.
Where are they going?
They're going to the gift shop. They're
oh,
sold.
okay.
Yes.
Help pay for Dave Raymond's salary. That makes perfect sense.
Exactly. Some of the special ones, though, he'll authenticate if the club requests them or the player requests them. They will do that also. So like Adrian's, the baseballs that Adrian hits now,
Sure.
those balls are being given to the club so they can accumulate as many of those leading up to 3,000 as possible.
I think it's cool to be able to get your hands on any game-used equipment, baseball or otherwise. If you're a Martin Perez fan, say, hey, there's a ball that he threw and whatever, curveball that he threw in the dirt. Now I'm going to hold that same ball, that same curveball grip. I would have went nuts for that opportunity as a kid.
Oh, 2 from Perez. That one runs way in. Zunino struck out in the second inning. He's 0 for 1.
Let's see if Martin decides to go with that same combination he did against Nelson Cruz. Fastball up and in, change up away.
And a bouncer down to third. Beltre takes care of it. It's a 1-2-3. Top of the fourth inning for Martin Perez. Nice bounce back effort for Martin. We'll go to the bottom of the fourth.
Rangers play the Toronto Blue Jays.
By a score of 5-1. And who doesn't want to take a trip to Margaritaville? Well, you can do it on Friday, July 7th, when the Rangers take on the Angels. There'll be a special pregame tailgate party with live music and, oh yes, cold drinks. Plus, fans who purchase a special themed ticket will receive a Margaritaville-inspired Rangers t-shirt and stay for the post-game fireworks set to Jimmy Buffett's music. That sounds really nice right about now.
So you bashed the Beatles earlier this year.
Yep.
Where are
it's
you?
A little strong, but yeah.
On Jimmy Buffett.
Yeah, whatever.
Pro.
Coin flip for me.
Okay.
It's not a like or a dislike. But the cold drinks, a little breeze, some fireworks, sign me up.
Well, bottom of the order in this fourth inning for the Rangers. They lead 5-1. And Napoli takes one up and away. 1 ball, 1 strike. Yovani Gallardo, weird afternoon, had 27 pitches in that first inning and struggled a little bit after he got the first 2 outs. Allowed 5 runs on 5 consecutive hits, including the home run by Napoli. Since then, same number of pitches, 27 pitches in the next 2 innings combined. So seemed to settle in just a little bit. In fact, has retired 7 of the last 8 batters he has seen. One, 2 to Napoli. And that one fouled back behind the plate. Might be an adventure back there for Zunino. Wind continues to blow it, but he makes the catch right near the backstop. It's all 1 away for Jonathan Lucroy. It's 95 degrees at game time and a very stiff breeze today. I don't know what the cutoff is between breeze and wind, but we're bumping right on that one way or the other. Just short of a gale. As Lucroy 0 for 1 takes one just off the outside corner. All right, our TXU Energy power player to watch. Lucroy's had fun against the Mariners.
Swung the bat well. 16 career games, obviously spending all that time in the National League. Hasn't played the Mariners that much, but now coming here in the American League West, starting at the deadline last year, he's been great. I always wonder for guys, is it just the opposing pitchers? Is it the visiting ballpark that you like going to? I don't know what it is for Jonathan Lucroy, but it's worked out well against the Mariners.
2-0 from Gallardo, and it is popped foul over to the right side. Lucroy getting the occasional day off these days, and that probably has made a little bit of a difference for him. You know, we talk a lot about how guys sometimes it's difficult to be in and out of the lineup, right? The regulars like to get into a bit of a groove. It's tough sometimes for guys who play off the bench and get the once or twice a week starts. And Seager backs up on the ground ball and throws Lucroy out for the second out of the inning. Lucroy's numbers have gotten a little better, though, as Chirinos has been mixed in with a little more frequency, it seems to me.
No, he has swung the bat really well. Just working right now, this catching tandem, as you saw Robinson sitting there and Aaron Jonathan Lucroy going back to the dugout. I said earlier, it's a luxury for Jeff Bannister. You know, what Robinson Chirinos has done cannot be overstated. I mean, it's just very difficult to do. Inconsistent playing time, to show power, for the swing to be there. And we know he's a great defensive catcher in what he does, but it's been really nice here. It's comforting too, because injuries in certain positions are really difficult to overcome. We know the Rangers have dealt with a bunch, and you try to mix and match and plug guys in. But the catcher position is a really tough one. You lose a catcher for any significant amount of time. It's exactly why the Cleveland Indians tried to acquire Jonathan Lucroy last year when Yan Gomes went down. And usually your backup, you know, is a backup for a reason. You don't see him as an everyday guy. But right now, and it's been great, they've both been healthy. But if you were to lose one for a little while, I feel pretty comfortable as far as what you have, as far as who would have to take over the bulk of the catching work.
Meanwhile, Gallo 0 for 1 today, struck out of the second inning and is in a hole here against Gallardo. 2-strike pitch, and this one off the handle, blooped out toward the shortstop position, where Seager is there to haul it in. So it's a 1-2-3 inning, only 11 pitches needed for Gallardo, who continues to settle in as we go to the fifth.
Time for our progressive fan of the game, and a very special one. It is Blake Ellis celebrating his 40th birthday. His friends, his wife put it together, of course. His friends all have these matching Blake t-shirts with the number 40 on the back. Guys, he's from Houston. He's a Rangers fan. He watches every game. That deserves the progressive fan of the game. And as someone who's about to turn 40, I'm here to tell you, it's the new 30, guys.
Well, listen, if you say so, then sure. Absolutely. Well, we're getting after it here in the fifth inning now. Heredia takes the 1-0 pitch, bounce it right side. Odor smothers, but can't get it to first in time, and Heredia is on to start the fifth. 8th and 9th place hitters have been a problem this afternoon.
Well, this was almost a great play by Rougned Odor, as he has to go to his left, and you see him go full extension and actually just a little bit past it as he caught that ball on his heel of the glove and then spit out a little bit, but that took everything he had to get there. Fortunately couldn't catch it cleanly, but had he caught it cleanly, it certainly would have been a close play anyway with Heredia running instead of base hit.
Fourth of the day for the Mariners. Now Motter, who had a ringing double in the third inning. This is where we get into the long hair portion of the lineup. Motter and then Ben Gamble, who waits on deck.
The Hanson brothers.
Good call. Very good. This ball lifted out to left field. Mazzara goes back. Has room. One away. Well, today's telecast is being broadcast on AFN, the American Forces Network, broadcasting to the U.S. Armed Forces serving around the world on land and on ships at sea. And we welcome all of you. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for your service. And of course, all of our friends in the Navy training in Alabama. Yeah, that's you, Blake. One away here in the fifth. So Gamble, the other of the Hanson twins.
I think they're super hot in not how they look. I mean, as far as the hair goes, like right now you got all that hair in that helmet.
I think it looks hot. Yeah, I think it looks warm.
Like if you have a long haired dog, you get into this kind of weather, you shave it.
Bouncing ball right side. Odor will settle for the one out at first. A little trouble digging that one out of the glove. So Heredia to second on the ground out. 2 away.
This would have been a tough turn as you see Odor field this ball. Just a little bit of hesitation on the exchange, and so he decides to play it safe, and that's the smart move. Don't try to make too much out of it. If it doesn't come to you easily and you have another option, that's the smart move to go ahead and take the out. Odor does exactly just that. He's looking over and he's telling Heredia that Elvis Andrus is always talking. He gave the talking sign. He pointed to Elvis. That guy always talking, doesn't stop talking. That's the sign language there from Odor to Heredia at second base. And he's right.
Yes.
Elvis does do a lot of talking, has as much fun as anybody out on the field, smiling constantly.
Thing about Elvis, when he's not making noise with his mouth, he's making it with that boombox that he hauls around. My goodness. But he's the best, man. He plays good music. Bouncer, shortstop. Elvis has a little trouble with it. And everybody is safe.
This was going to be a tough play for Elvis Andrus because it was going to be the short hop, and he had to backhand it, and it was hit pretty hard. And to be able to catch this cleanly, not an easy thing to do. You see that there as it hops up on him, and he wasn't going to have a play after. Even if he caught it clean, this was going to be a tough one. See how it hits the heel of the glove. Does the smart thing, takes a look at the runner at third base.
So, couple of infield hits. And it gets Robinson Cano to the plate. On the one hand, you feel like, yeah, Martin Perez, he's been in control. He's handled everything pretty well so far. On the other hand, you say to yourself, well, but there are 2 men on and a couple of really scary hitters coming right here in a 4-run game.
It's one of those things where you get ground balls, but unfortunately just a little bit too far to the left, too far to the right, and ground ball pitchers, when they're on, sometimes they're going to have to deal with bad luck. I think Martin has had some of that this year. I think that's why, especially against lefties, you see the batting average a little bit higher than we would expect, certainly higher than we have seen over the course of his career. And you're going to go through periods where that happens.
Cano asks for time. Robinson Cano yesterday was 0 for 4, put an end to an 8-game hitting streak, but right back at it today. Base hit in the first, a walk in the third inning. He's been a tough out for Perez. He hits his ball foul. It's 0-2. Oh, nice play out there. Our ball girl made the nice play and then felt bad about the chalk that she kick to the side. She was really torn about what to do.
They'll line the field again tomorrow. Nothing to worry about. It happens.
The important thing is you make the play.
Yes.
'80th pitch of the afternoon for Martin Perez, and it is high, 1-2 the count.
And these guys are having a field day behind home plate. I know you can see them when you're watching, but they're hoping to get the punch out right there. The umpire's lined up wanting to make the call. The catcher was there. He caught that pitch and then looked back at the umpire to say, hey, where was that one? And these guys are all the way in. No shortcuts. Oh, they're easily distracted as they look to the left.
It's a good view over that right shoulder, though. The 1-2 pitch, and there's a swinging strikeout of Cano. 5th strikeout today for Martin Perez. He's been able to dial up the strikeout when needed.
And he's done a nice job today. You see the pitch here to Robinson Cano, a little off speed. And here go the umpire, the other one, a big one. That needs work. That needs work. That needs work.
And top of the order in this 5th inning for the Rangers. So it'll be Chu, Andrus, and Mazzara. Chu had that base hit in the 2nd of Giovanni Gallardo. And a little sigh of relief to get it. As Gallardo has had his number over the years. 1 for 2 so far this afternoon. Rangers got all 5 of their runs in the 1st. Since then, have had just 1 base runner. Chu hits this one high in the air out to left. Gamble toward the corner, continuing to carry, and he'll make the catch, 1 out. All right, time for a Chevy game break. Let's send it back to Rick Renner back in the studios.
The shortstop, Elvis Andrus.
Yeah, thanks, Rick. The Cardinals, once in a while, I think they're going to rear up and make a run. They're 4 games under. 4.5 back of the Milwaukee Brewers. Continues to be a story for me, that National League Central. Here's Elvis Andrus. Gallardo's retired 9 in a row. And he's gotten Andrus both times he's been up this afternoon. High strike call, and it's 1-1. Bottom of the fifth. Rangers won the opener yesterday 10-4 and have won 6 of their last 7 games. So playing some good baseball. Now at home for a little stretch. Rangers in second place in the division, 11 back of the Houston Astros, who've dropped 7 of their last 10.
Bannon doesn't even look hot, does he? I don't know if it's the blue. Does the blue make you look cooler? Is that like
that might be
temperature-wise? But it doesn't look like he's even breaking a sweat.
2-2 on Andrews. And was he got like 3 layers on this?
I think he's got a gutted out shirt underneath, right? The Jake Deacon shirt looks like that's what that red one might be. Everything is short sleeve though, so that helps a little bit. Gotta have the wristband just in case. I'm a little disappointed you're not wearing yours today, by the way.
I gave mine away.
Oh, well.
My son was very excited.
Oh, my son asked me as soon as I walked in, "Hey, where'd you get that wristband?" I'm like, just back off. Always trying to steal my stuff. This is a dad one.
Well, I was wondering if you slept in it last night. I mean, it never did come off yesterday. Way off pitch, and that one misses. Andrews draws the walk in this 5th inning. And that's the first walk issued by Gallardo today.
MLB.TV every night, every device. Watch every out-of-market regular season game live, plus get a free subscription to AppBat Premium, the #1 app for live baseball. Blackout and other restrictions apply, but make sure you visit MLB.com for details. It's a must-have for any baseball fan. You got to have MLB.TV Premium.
Man on. Andrews draws the throw. Elvis second in the American League with 15 steals. But Mazara up there, 1 for 2 today. And you see the 44 RBIs there toward the bottom of your screen. You like him swinging the bat and driving in runs. 8th in the American League with those 44 RBIs. Some suspicion perhaps that a play was on. Andrews not running.
Yeah, Zunino has struggled a little bit here, even though Gallardo has not allowed a stolen base all year. 5 for 23. He's only thrown out 5 of 23 would-be base stealers, 22%. He's below the league average. His backup, Carlos Ruiz, has been even worse, just 17% thrown out for him this year.
This ball hit well down the right field line, but hooks foul. Omar got a good swing on that one, but out in front a little bit. Now Gallardo at 75 pitches now after a long, difficult first inning for him. He has settled in nicely. 31-year-old, product of Fort Worth's Trimble Tech High School. Runner bluffs, and Mazara pops this one up into left field. Gamble fighting with that sun, and he makes the catch, 2 away. And tagging and heading to second is Elvis Andrews. Well, how about that for a great hustle play? Might have caught Gamble sleeping there momentarily.
Well, I think whenever you see an outfielder fighting with the wind a little bit and becomes a difficult fly ball to catch, it is very easy to just stay focused on trying to make sure you make that catch and not really thinking about what else is going on, especially when it's only a runner on first base right from this distance. But you look at Gamble here fighting the sun. Already is over there to kind of help him out, so he catches it. And when he's looking, I just don't know why he was hesitating as far as actually making that throw. I'm sure Scott Service a little bit frustrated by that play.
Now it puts Andrews in scoring position for Adrian Beltre. A 5-1 ball game. Beltre already has 1 base hit in today's game. And the Rangers are 2 for 3 with runners in scoring position this afternoon.
Yeah, and Adrian Beltre has been killing it this year with those runners in scoring position. 357 coming in to this game. We were talking about Nelson Cruz and the great job he has done at 349. Obviously Adrian hasn't been activated and healthy the whole year, but since he has been back, a 357 batting average in these situations.
Works ahead here now, 2 balls and no strikes. Beltran his 14th game back from the disabled list. A little scare a couple of games in when he jammed his left ankle at first base on a great hustle play. Missed a couple of days and was right back in the lineup. It's this one high in the air, first base side, foul ground. Valencia down the line, and he puts it away. That ends the Rangers half of the 5th inning. We've played 5 complete so far this afternoon. Rangers lead by 4.
Leading the Mariners by a score of 5-1, and with Nelson Cruz coming up, I want to take you back to that nice strikeout against Martin Perez in the 3rd inning. Let's take it pitch by pitch. Martin did a great job. Backdoor curveball, which was fouled off. Then he gets a changeup down and away called for a strike. Goes with the slider, trying to get that strikeout swing and miss. This was my favorite part right here. Elevating the fastball up and in, and with Cruz in swing mode, comes right back with the changeup down and away, and finishes a very good right-handed hitter off. And that was perfect execution across the board for Martin Perez against Nelson Cruz.
So now Cruz starting this 6th inning. Kyle Seager and Danny Valencia to follow, a 5-run game. Perez trying to keep it low. Those 2 balls and no strikes on Cruz.
That was just the 2nd time that Martin Perez has ever struck out Nelson Cruz in 17 at-bats. And really is kind of pitching 101. You kind of use this phrase all the time: hard in, soft away. It's kind of where you start, unless the guy's a little bit quirky or there's something different about him. But it was so important, even though Jonathan Lucroy wasn't necessarily calling for that fastball in, just the idea that it ended up there, that 4-seamer cut a little bit. Just back off the plate, maybe make him move his feet. You see how he doesn't even like that one there? Like, it's a fastball in that he's turning in and almost flinching on. You got to show that once in a while to open up the outside. And there's the changeup.
Swing and a miss, makes it a full count on Cruz.
I always feel like that pitch is just so important for Martin when it's on. We've seen him this year lots of times use that changeup behind the count to get himself out of some jams with runners on base. It's great execution on a 3-1 count.
The payoff, and he loses him low. So ball 4 puts Cruz on to start the 6th inning. All right, for a little more on Martin Perez this afternoon, let's check in with Emily Jones.
Yeah, thanks to the wonders of technology, someone tweeted me asking if I noticed the wardrobe change from Martin Perez from the 3rd to the 4th. So he had his socks, his pants pulled up with his socks exposed early in the game, and the blue shoes. And then after the 3rd inning, he changed back to the regular. I did some checking in the dugout, and no one seems to have an answer. So that means I'm not very good at my job, I guess, because I don't have an answer to why. But here's an observation. I'll do some more digging after the game. I'm not going to bother Martin during the game. So I'll wait.
At least you could do is ask him when he's walking back in after the game, right?
I'm going to avoid that, actually. I do value my job.
Well, I mean, listen, superstars, you see it all the time. You go to a concert, wardrobe change in between sets, songs, whatever it may be. Now, it could have just been a comfort level. Now, he may have changed his pants as well. I don't know if he went full pants or just that he put his pant legs down.
High pop up out on the right. Chu with the shorter pants makes the catch.
Because here's the thing, when you do that, and Rougned Odor does this as well, right? You can take your regular pants and just pull them up.
Or it's a pant change, though. There's no way. Look at those.
Yeah, or you can, those are pretty long, or you can actually take, right, get the pants that are cut just to your knees or just below, wherever you like to have them. But yeah, you're right. I mean, you look at the length of those, and I got to believe that that was a complete pants change. Maybe it was just uncomfortable. I never like pitching socks up.
Well, I would suggest that the authenticator may well know, because maybe he got the previous pair and had the explanation. There's a liner just off the glove of Elvis Andrus. Boy, Valencia up there hacking. Andrus just about robbed him. In and out of the mitt, and 2 men are aboard.
Yeah, we've almost seen some great plays today. You should take a look at this fastball from Martin Perez, and Valencia squared it up pretty well. And you look at that full extension, it would have been a great play. Unfortunately, Elvis Andrus, as he looked at the glove, kind of hoping it was there. I think he knew. Yells at his glove once. That would have been a great play. Just missed.
Doug Brocail out there along with Lou Croy. Well, that's a really cool view right there from out in right field.
Peter playing it smart, though, right? When you're the RF guy and you're working your way around the stadium. I got a great indoor shot for you guys. You're going to want to use today.
You probably won't want to use it for a couple more innings, but I'll stay right here. Make sure I have it. Solid work, Peter.
We all know the play.
So a couple of men on here, and Zunino.
There it is again. The good changeup when it's on. These right-handed hitters have a very difficult time with that changeup. We saw it earlier to Nelson Cruz on the 3-1 count. Also saw the strikeout to Nelson Cruz back in the 3rd inning. Just a matter of coming back when he does with the fastball, putting that where he wants it as well. Ooh.
Close one. 1-1 the count on Zunino. A strikeout and a ground out today for the Mariners catcher. Perez approaching 95 pitches today, and he has not yet got one of his patented ground ball double plays. He nearly got one earlier. And you see, just too short of the league right now. Dallas Keuchel with the Astros has 15 of them. High pop up first base side, and that one will end up among the spectators. 2-2. All right, let's get back to this pants story. Emily, what do you got?
I am good at my job, guys. This just in. I found out he only has one pair of the short pants. He wears them on special occasions. It's hot. They were sweaty, and he wanted to change into dry ones. Now you have your answer. And hopefully I can keep my job.
The authenticator, did he give you that?
I cannot reveal my sources.
Now you see, now you just really told me how good you are at this job. That was the proper response.
If I don't tell you, no one's going to tell you.
Cruz at second, Valencia at first. Martin Perez in a nice pair of dry, long pants, looking for that ground ball.
This would be the spot. There have been a bunch of changeups in this at bat so far. We'll see. He tries to throw one more in this full count. It has been the pitch that Martinez used to get himself out of a lot of jams. There it was, well located too.
Well, there's some activity behind him now. Clerk and Dario Alvarez getting loose.
Both of those guys threw last night. Leclerc an inning, 25 pitches. Alvarez just a third of an inning and 4 pitches.
All right, so if you go to the changeup 3-2, like you said, oftentimes going to that pitch in the big spots when needed. You know, is it harder to go back to it again right here?
Not necessarily. If you feel good about it, you know you locate it well, it's a great pitch. Goes fastball there. I mean, you do want to be careful about getting in a habit of letting a hitter see too many of the same pitch in the same at bat, right? So it has been now 5 changeups that Mike Zunino has seen in this at bat. So he's gotten a really good look at it. And you look at his numbers on that changeup against lefties, he's actually been pretty good going back to last year, at least the batting average against. But Martin Perez's best changeup to me is still good enough. It's just a matter of location.
With the fastball in that last offering, this will be the 8th pitch of the at bat. And it's hit out to center field. Long run, Gomez back to the wall, and that one is gone. Zunino just hung in there long enough. Got a ball he could drive, his 7th home run of the year, a 3-run shot. And just like that, it's a 1-run game.
Well, this was the changeup one more time, and now the 6th changeup that Mike Zunino had seen in this at bat. It looked like a pretty decent one. We'll take a look at the location of this pitch. You see the changeup grip right there. Not terrible. I mean, up a little bit, but he knows that he wants to throw a strike in that 3-2 count. But I think Zunino had done enough homework within that at bat and seen it enough times and put a great swing in the final one that he saw.
Well, that does it for Martin Perez. Rangers go to the bullpen in the 6th. Jose Leclerc coming on. We'll tell you about him when we come back. Southwest, yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. And by North Texas Ford. The Great American Sales Event is happening now at your local Texas Ford dealer. Ford is the best in Texas. 1 out in this 6th inning. Martin Perez, his afternoon done after the home run by Zunino, leaves with a 5-4 lead, and Jose Leclerc now on in relief. And the right-hander to Heredia high.
And here's the arsenal for Jose Leclerc. The changeup 49% at the time. The fastball 45, and that is pretty much it. That occasional curveball he'll throw in the cutter. The changeup, the go-to. How about this? A 0.51, 51 batting average against on that changeup this year. Such a dangerous weapon that he'll cut. He also fade it away, or at least down to left-handed hitters. That's the reason why he throws that pitch more than any other.
1-2 on Heredia. Heredia had a couple of hits off of Martin Perez. Martin Perez had probably as tough a time with the last 2 hitters in the lineup as anyone. So it was a good time taken from the game anyway, with a pitch count escalating on him. He ended up with 98 pitches on the afternoon. The knockout blow by Zunino left no doubt. And there's a swinging strikeout of Heredia, 2 away in the 6th inning.
This is the value of having that great changeup that dies away from righties, is your ability to come back with a fastball, and he's got a good one and blow it by hitters up in the zone, and that was exactly the plan by Jose Leclerc. We showed it the other way where it was fastball up and in, Nelson Cruz change up away. Martin Perez got the strikeout. That's kind of flipping the script where you go change up early and then finish a hitter off with the fastball.
So now Taylor Motter. And he tried to hold up but could not. And it's strike one. Motter doubled in the third, flied out of the fifth inning. Didn't miss by a lot. 1-1 the count. Leclerc was 23 years old. Rookie last year, made 12 appearances out of the bullpen through just 15 innings. The concern had always been with Leclerc was just throwing strikes, avoiding the walks, and he's done a nice job of that this year. And a breaking ball in there for a strike. Count 1 and 2. I say breaking ball. There's that that reverse changeup.
It tricks everybody. I mean, everybody, all the algorithms, everybody that acquires data and information. I had a couple of conversations with some people from MLB as they try to categorize those pitches. I said, listen, man, it's a changeup. I know it looks like a slider, and I'm watching it and I'm saying, yeah, it breaks like a slider, but it's a changeup grip.
And there's a strikeout swinging. Motter down on strikes. Back-to-back Ks for Jose Leclerc. And we go to the bottom of the sixth. Inning brought to you by Sonic Drive-In. Jackpot today, $100 plus dinner for two at Sonic Drive-In. Today the Rangers are hitting for Larry Pippins of Mansfield. So if the Ranger hits a home run this inning, Larry will win $100. If they hit a grand slam, Larry wins $25,000. Yesterday we had a home run in the sixth inning. Carlos Gomez with a 3-run shot. Jackpot was up to $2,000 yesterday. Dan Altavilla has come in to pitch in this sixth inning. Altavilla, I should say.
See the numbers there overall. Done a pretty decent job. Better than 2-1 on the strikeout to walk. Certainly something you always want to see. But I'm wondering about Sonic Slam. And if do you think they know that they're the person the next day?
Oh.
And then do you not root for the Rangers to hit a home run in that inning? You kind of get put in a tough spot if you know you're going to be the person who gets the Sonic Slam, right? And you're like, well, yeah, I'd love for this guy to hit a homer, but
this one off the bat just foul down in that on that right field line by Odor.
I don't know if Larry knows ahead of time or not how it works, but you really would have a legitimate conflict in that spot.
Yeah, my guess is that you don't know in advance.
It's official. You do not know. That's good. Removes any conflict that you may have.
Well, you gotta keep it all in the up and up. Odor doubled earlier today, scored a run, drove in a run. 1 for 2. And holds off. It's a ball and a strike from Altavilla. Right-hander. And his 24th appearance of the year. Up and in. Well, it's a 5-4 game. Rangers got all 5 runs in the first inning. Since that first inning, they've had just 1 hit and 1 walk. Giovanni Gallardo really settled down as now Odor swings and launches this one high in the air, deep to right field. Gone! 12th home run of the year. And Rougned Odor has added to the Rangers' lead. It's a 6-4 ball game.
Well, what great timing for Rougned Odor after the Mariners had added 3 last inning and also made this game a little bit closer with 1 swing. The Rangers get 1 back, and congratulations, Larry, on the $100 in the Sonic Slam inning. And Rougned Odor crushing a 95-mile-an-hour fastball. That's been an issue here for Altavilla. He's been very good on a slider. 152 batting average against. You just saw the pitch right there to Carlos Gomez, but the 4-seam fastball has been an issue. 311 is the opposing batting average on that pitch, including now 4 home runs. He knew right away too. I don't know if you saw the reaction for Rugi. He hit it head down, peeked in the dugout, got a little excited, and started trotting.
Well, he's had that swing going lately. That's 5 home runs in the last 10 games for Odor. Look out, that one got Gomez. Altavilla let one loose up and in, and Gomez. A good thing he had that armor, that extra armor, that extended ear flap.
We'll take a look at this pitch. 4-seam fastball that registered at 98 miles an hour, and that was up and in as well. A no-hitter likes catching a pitch right there. But let's go back to the Rougned Odor home run, and I mentioned the 4-seam fastball. There it was, trying to go away, missed over the plate. Rugi goes head down, little peek in the dugout, little skip, and off we go.
#12th of the year for Odor. Big run to add to today's score. 6-4. Now with another runner on, it's Napoli who pops this one foul back out of play. So there was a little drought there for a while after Gallardo had settled down. But Altavilla has opened the gates once again for this Rangers offense. Yesterday scored 10 runs. And a toss over on Gomez. Napoli homered in that first inning. His home run, a 2-run shot, capped the 5-run outburst, all of which happened after the first 2 outs were made in the inning. 1-strike pitch way off the plate. It's 1-1. We talked about it at the top of the broadcast today, but the addition of Carlos Gomez and Mike Napoli, both coming off the disabled list yesterday, definitely changes the look of this Rangers lineup now. This ball hit well out to left field. Gamble can only look. It is out of here. A massive blast by Napoli. Good for 2 more, his 13th of the year. Just like that, the Rangers back to a 4-run lead.
Mike Napoli gets himself a fastball up, and smokes this thing. It was 95 miles an hour up in the zone, and we always talk about, guys, how that pitch always looks good coming in, and sometimes it's difficult to lay off of that pitch, but Mike Napoli had no issues at all. Such a great fastball hitter, and you're just talking about how great it is to have this lineup back the way everybody was anticipating before the season started, but trying to go down in a way, and instead it's up in a way, and Mike Napoli knew right away that he crushed a four-seam fastball to deep left field. You see the reaction, toss it away, trot around. Mike Napoli, 2 home runs in just his second game back off the DL.
Now Jonathan Lucroy with the bases empty all of a sudden, and he takes a strike. So Napoli and Gomez have combined to drive in 2, 4, 8, 10 runs in their first 2 games back, and we're not done with this one yet. 1-1 to Lucroy. Second time this year that Napoli has hit multiple home runs in the same game. He did it against the San Diego Padres back in May. 16th time he's turned the trick in his career. And it is 1-2 on Lucroy, who today is grounded out both times he's been up. And that last home run measured at 442 feet. Almost hit the facing of the restaurant out there in left field. Lucroy stays alive. There aren't many who can get it out over that restaurant out there, although we have seen it.
We saw the big one, of course, from Carlos Gomez earlier this year.
Bouncer shortstop now for Lucroy, and there is the first out of the inning. Hey, tomorrow, by the way, final round of the U.S. Open. The world's greatest players get after it for one final day. It is golf's can't miss major of the year, and it's been great so far. 117th U.S. Open, 10 a.m. tomorrow on Fox and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. Wow, Fleetwood has taken the lead on the board. Justin Thomas there. He set a U.S. Open record today, 9 under par today for Thomas, around a 63. That beat Johnny Miller's old record. Johnny Miller, who also put up a 63 at Oakmont many years ago, but it was only 8 under. Gallo fouls one away in the count, 1-1. Two home runs in the inning. Gallo in a hole, 1-2. He struck out in the second, popped up in the fourth. Rangers with 5 in the first 3 here in the 6th inning. So the big innings have been the undoing of these Mariners in this series. Bouncer, second base, but it's dropped by the shortstop, Motter, who spins and cannot recover. Gallo beats it out. Motter playing on the other side of the bag.
Yeah, he's basically playing a routine second base. So as much as we talk about shifts, putting some defenders in awkward positions, I don't know if this is necessarily one that qualifies for that. And you see, this is a very standard routine ground ball that just bounced up on Motter and completely caught him by surprise, as you see the reaction and the rush to try to make up for it. But because of the great hustle by Joey Gallo, it was too late.
All right, so another base runner with 1 out, and here is Shin-Soo Choo. Choo 1 for 3 today. Doing battle with Altavilla last year. Got a cup of coffee with the Mariners. Pitched well in 15 games. He's 24 years old. Chu launches this one high in the air. Deep to center field. Way back there, and it is gone. Another big home run in the inning. Third for the Rangers. And it's a 5-run sixth.
How about the Rangers today? 2 huge innings, first in the first inning and now here in the 6th, and you see a slider that just hangs up in the zone for Chu, and he hammers this ball. Looking to pull those hands in and get on top of this ball and crush it to center field. Check out also Adrian Beltre trying to do his part, telling that baseball to get up and get out. And the baseball obliges Adrian, and who wouldn't?
Well, a 5-run 6th inning after a 5-run first inning. And this offense has looked really good in the first 2 games of this homestand. Andrews 0 for 2 with a walk. And he swings through that one. So the Rangers had 5 innings of 5 or more runs in the previous 66 games. 2 today. Four home runs total today. That one by Chu went 440 feet. Way up on Greens Hill. And Andrews shanks it. It's 2-2.
Altavilla has really had an issue, and it's been all about location of pitches. Elevating when he doesn't want to elevate. Missing over the plate, but most of the misses have been up. These Rangers hitters are just not missing.
Still just 1 out. Altavilla having a tough time here in relief of Giovanni Gallardo. There's 2-2. There's a swing and a miss. Lineup quicken right now for a little more on that. Let's check in again with Emily Jones.
Yeah, and Jeff Bannister talked about it yesterday and today, that it's nice to have those names available to him when he fills out the lineup card. Carlos Gomez, Mike Napoli, having Adrian Beltre back, and all 3 of those guys in the lineup at the same time. He said, but they've got to play to those names. They've got to produce to the names that they've established. And so for them to come out, in these first 2 games, Knapp and Carlos, and do that early is big for his confidence in filling out that lineup.
Well, absolutely. I mean, it's one thing to have guys that have had success over the course of their career, or even had maybe a good start to the season, whatever it may be, but it is about constant production and knowing what is capable, and certainly the Rangers hitters and those big names have shown it today.
This ball lined out to right field. Mazzara with his 2nd hit of the day.
Nomar Mazzara just pounding a ball through the shift as if it is no issue. And here's the other thing too about this lineup, and take a quick look here at Nomar Mazzara joining the party with his 2nd hit, base hit of the game. But that nice Nomar Mazzara swing, so quiet, head and chest still over the plate. Given that opportunity to pull it, he will. Throw him something away, he'll drive it away as well. But how about this? So here's the lineup, killing it today, crushing it, without one of their hottest hitters in Delano DeShields, who has been great. You think about what he's done over his last 10, hitting .382, and so it becomes about not only these guys getting it done, but getting to that deep bench. We were talking about it with the Nationals. We were up there for that series, and what they have on the bench is pretty unbelievable. And guys like Adam Lynn, Ryan Rayburn, they got some legitimate punch on the bench. But not only does Jeff Bannister need those guys to produce, but part of the reason why is because then it makes it even harder to fill out the lineup. The more guys you have producing, the better, obviously. Everybody healthy, and all of a sudden now the bench has gotten a lot stronger.
Beltre's a 9th hitter of the inning. This will be the 30th pitch of the inning for Altavilla, and it makes it 1-2. He's had to do some work this afternoon, and Altavilla's pitched that one, hit well out to left field. Gamble backpedaling, and he'll make the play. Nothing routine about that, and it ends the inning. Rangers send 9 batters to the plate. 3 of them leave the yard.
Well, first it's Rougned Odor with a no-doubter, and it's Mike Napoli with a no-doubter, and maybe the most impressive, the one to dead center by Shin-Chu-Chu.
Game summary. We move off to the 7th inning. Well, home runs, yeah, 2 of them for Napoli, 4 RBIs today. Carlos Gomez, Rougned Odor, each driving in a pair. That's part of the activity today.
It's been unbelievable to see what this offense has done, and getting great support from Martin Perez, who ultimately went 5 1/3. There was a home run there that ended up knocking him out of the game by Mike Zunino, which got this game within reach at one point when it was 5-4, but the Rangers decided to put it what appears to be at least out of reach for now. And now we're going to see Alex Claudio coming in here. That 2-seam fastball to sinker, 58% of the time. The great changeup, 27% of the time. And Alex threw last night, right? Yeah, threw 2 innings last night and 23 pitches, but he is right back out there again. Now, he did have the previous 4 days off after pitching every game in Washington against the Nationals, but Jeff Bannister needs him again here in the 7th.
So he will go after the top of the order. Ben Gamble, Mitch Haniger, and Robinson Cano. Gamble hitless so far in 3 tries this afternoon. Tapper back over the mound. That one threw into center field. Gamble is aboard to start the 7th.
Right fielder Mitch Haniger.
And so now Mitch Haniger, who is 1 for 3. Martin Perez, 5 1/3 innings today in his start. Leclerc faced 2 hitters, struck them both out, and now Alex Claudio. 10-4, Rangers on top. Haniger came in hitting .327, but an on-base average of .431. Done a really good job this year for the Mariners. But in a hole here, 0-2.
Well, I missed on the umpire and the catcher. I said top of the 6th inning.
Are they
would
still
check
going?
out. They're still in there. So,
oh man, I told you.
Somebody texted him and told him. That's probably what happened. I shouldn't have said it out loud. I should have just wrote it down.
See,
they're hanging in there. Well, you know, also you believe too, when you're that kind of fan, when everything's going well, you believe that it's actually because of part of what you're doing, right? Say, hey man, we're winning this game. We got to keep going.
Don't mess with the streak.
That's right.
Bouncer left side, and that one is through for Haniger. So Gamble and Haniger both finding the outfield to start this 7th inning. Mariners with a couple of base runners. All right, Rangers and Blue Jays this Tuesday. The first 7,500 kids 13 and under to the ballpark. We'll get a Rangers captain kids hooded towel courtesy of Denny's. And you can get your tickets today at TexasRangers.com or by calling 972-RANGERS.
A couple of bad breaks here for Alex so far to start this inning. As you see, a young fan holding on to that ticket. Right, you save those. You have to save. You still have some.
Yep.
I know you said you go to very many big league games growing up in Nebraska.
No, but I saved them.
I still have mine as well from the 80s. It's so much fun. You go back and look at those. Like, look at the ticket prices. $8 lower level. Like, ooh, the good old days. See Robinson Cano's reaction to that slider, and seems a little frustrated, but Alex has done a good job. It's been a couple of weak base hits. This is what he does, right? It is mostly the weak contact when the ball is put in play, and does a really nice job. 2 ground balls that were just perfectly placed. Get yourself another one of those and you very easily could get Robinson Cano to hit into a double play.
Cano 1 for 2 with a walk. Cano could use that double play right here, although he's ahead now 0-2 in the count. Keone Kelly gets ready.
And not surprising. I think, I mentioned, of course, that Alex threw 2 innings yesterday, and you look at the lineup, he comes in top of the lineup, lefty, righty, lefty, righty, lefty to get you to Seager. And so Jeff Bannister most likely calls down there, looks at the lineup cards. All right, you know what? I feel comfortable with Alex facing maybe as many as 5 hitters. Seager, for me, if it was to get that far, would probably be the last based on how much he pitched last night. But he's also been incredibly efficient. Right? What he has done, we talked about it last night. He was at 12 pitches per inning, which is an incredible number. He doesn't waste a lot of time.
1-2. And strikes him out swinging. Got away from Luke Coy there a little bit, but nobody trying to advance. Cano, the first out of the 7th.
What a great pitch here from Alex, where he takes that slider and puts it out of the zone. Very difficult. That actually might have been a changeup. They cut by accident. Hard to tell based on the velocity. That very well could have been a changeup that cut and acted as a slider, not in the way that Jose Leclerc does it. But either way, a well executed pitch that resulted in a huge strikeout against Robinson Cano.
So now Cruz in a spot where he could do some damage. 0 for 2 with a walk today. And he takes ball 1.
That was a changeup, but see how it acted. Ultimate leg was a slider. Now, usually, you look at these matchups, you don't love these necessarily. Sidearm lefty against a power righty, but we've seen Alex do this all year long. When he locates, he can get these big right-handed thumpers out.
That'll even the count. A ball and a strike. Cruz has bounced into 5 double plays this year. Middle of the infield set up for one right now, and count the ball in 2 strikes.
So back-to-back fastballs there, 88, 87 miles an hour. Ahead in the count 1-2 for Alex. He can use that back foot slider down and in, which he does, but the changeup is the pitch that he loves the most. And we already saw Nelson Cruz chase a changeup out of the zone against Martin Perez earlier in this game. Alex has an even better changeup. So after that fastball, I got to believe that Jonathan Lucroy will be calling that changeup again. You go below, out of the zone even a little bit, and try to get Nelson Cruz to chase. I think they're using second side. Let's see. I don't know what that was. That's too fast. I think he went changeup. Let's see.
1-2.
Yep.
What do you mean he went changeup?
Well, he went. So when you see all 4
the
fingers wiggle, right? So that's universal changeup. And it looked like he did it twice. Which is hard to differentiate that, right? When do you actually stop and start? When you do 2 of those, but that's what it looked like. And you never know for sure. I thought maybe he was going second sign. We'll see. Boy, that's fast. That's fast for us, and we're zoomed in.
2-2. And a little bouncer, third base. Beltre has it, and he will settle for the lead runner. 2 out in the inning.
Well, Alex does a great job of executing the changeup here again, and he gets Nelson Cruz way out front. Decides to go ahead, hold it for a while, and take the force out.
That was a great standoff right there between those two. So Cruz on via the fielder's choice. Haniger now at second base, but 2 out in the inning. And here's Kyle Seager. Seager's had a quiet afternoon. A couple of fly balls to right field, the ground ball to second base. Everything on the right side of the diamond, and consequently Rangers playing him to pull. 3 infielders over on that right side of the 1-strike pitch. Foul back. Let's see, Andrews playing like an up the middle second baseman, and Odor, he's the outfield rover. Lucroy and Claudio talking things over. Conversation here probably. I'm going to go even faster with my signs.
Let's see how good your eyes really are. Now this becomes about the 0-2 count, what you've seen so far. Where do you want to go with the pitch? He knows what Alex likes. He knows what the scouting report says, and so I think he just wants to make sure they're all on the same page. Because if he decides to go change up, it could be where do you want to locate it, or hey, sweep me a slider way up the plate. I think we'll chase it.
Fouled away. And he really held in nicely on that one.
Because it's not always about necessarily finishing the batter on that pitch, but also the whole process of the at-bat, maybe trying to set him up for what's next. And he can say, listen, man, let's sweep the slider, just as an example, let's sweep the slider off the plate. If he doesn't go for it, come back in with the fastball, whatever it may be. Now they went change up the pitch before, and it looks like they want fastball in now. It's a good battle here. Now obviously Alex is still in a driver's seat. 0-2. He's done a good job of locating the changeup and the fastball in. I kind of like the slider away here off the plate. If he doesn't chase, not a big deal. He still has plenty of options from there.
Well, that's the first time the signs look different to me on that last pitch. Everything looked pretty much the same. A lot of wiggling fours. Yep. That's a whole mess of stuff. And he went with a slider. Or did he? That was a wackadoodle pitch right there at 67 miles per hour.
I'm going to call it a changeup that cut. Doesn't matter. It's a strikeout. We've seen it from Alex, who does an excellent job against these lefties. Take a look real quick at what I believe was the changeup that cut at 67 miles an hour. Yep, there it is. Changeup, turns it over, cuts a little ways away, and perfect timing for that.
All right, time for God Bless America as we give it to Chuck Morgan.
We're currently stationed at home and around the world. Frankie and Rocco will now perform God Bless America.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with light from above.
p.m. The first 15,000 fans 14 and older will receive a Mike Napoli powder blue replica jersey, and that is courtesy of Fox Sports Southwest and Southwest Airlines. Get your tickets today at TexasRangers.com, or you can call 972-RANGERS. 8:05.
Yeah, occasionally.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does happen.
I second guess myself as I read that.
Yeah. I didn't. That's one of those things, right? Didn't double check it, but yeah, it does happen a handful of times every summer. Odor leading off the inning and pops a second pitch high in the air to the left side, and this one handled by Seager for out number 1. Rob Whalen has come on now.
And just his 7th game of the year for Whalen. You see the numbers there, high ERA, but I never ever look at ERA when you start talking about relievers with limited time. It just doesn't matter at all. I mean, ERA is not a great way to even evaluate a relief pitcher to begin with, but certainly not when he has just 6 games.
Well, Whalen on 2 pitches got Odor, and now Gomez steps in and takes a breaking ball for a strike. Gomez was hit by a pitch last inning, and a ball that came up and in on him. I'm sure he did not like it. And it was fortunate it got him on the shoulder mostly as he tucked his head a little bit and rolled back away from the pitch. But you can see where's that guard over the left side of his face, and you see more and more guys doing that, and it makes more and more sense to me.
I think so. You hear certain guys talking about this. Josh Donaldson especially had come out and said, you know what, I get worked up and in a lot. These guys are throwing harder than ever, and just he feels a little bit more comfortable having that guard on there. And as long as it doesn't bother you when you hit, it makes perfect sense to go ahead and put it on.
Holds off that one down low. It's 2-2. Drove in a couple in the first inning, lined out in the third. Rangers with 10 runs on 10 hits. And Whalen's 2-2 pitch. And this one fouled back out of play.
Carlos Gomez would love another shot at that pitch. I believe his eyes lit up. We know he swings hard all the time, but that was certainly one that he could handle. A 2-seam fastball that was a little bit higher than expected, or at least as far as where Whalen wanted it. Look at that thing sitting right in the plate, and the reaction from Gomez.
Off the plate, and it's a full count. Whalen was recalled today by the Mariners. Zach Curtis, who we saw at length yesterday for 3 innings, in fact, was optioned out to Double-A Arkansas. Whalen, 23 years old. It's his 3rd tour with the Mariners this season, and just his 2nd relief appearance. And that one is strike 3 called, so Gomez down looking, 2 away.
How about with Mike Napoli coming up? Let's get to our AT&T high-speed replay. We'll take you back to the first inning when Mike Napoli hits this bomb off of Gallardo, and then doubling up in the 6th inning and catching a pitch up. And this one, even more so of a no-doubter. He doesn't have time to hold that bat anymore. He is done with it after hitting that bomb. But a great day here for Mike Napoli. Had a base hit last night as well, and it has been an absolute joy to have him back in this lineup and what he means to this team. It's a deep lineup, and it is even deeper when you have a healthy Mike Napoli hitting home runs.
Whalen's pitch up and in. 1-1. We've heard the fans there briefly with those Napoli chants. Always a crowd favorite, and especially when things are going well. And they are right now for Napoli. On a hole now, 1-2. Lower back strain, all better now. Short stint on the disabled list for Napoli. Recalled yesterday. 1-2. And got him swinging, so Whalen comes in and goes 3 up, 3 down in the 7th. We'll go to the 8th inning. Rangers with a 6-run lead. Brought to you by Southwest. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. And by AT&T Internet. Visit AT&T.com/keepcalm to learn more. To the 8th inning we go. Comfortable lead for the Rangers. Keone Kela coming on in the 8th.
You see the arsenal, very simple. Fastball, curveball from Kela. Both very good pitches. The curveball has been especially dominant, but the fastball can be as well. One that he has zero problem elevating up in the zone, throwing that pitch as high as 98 miles an hour at times, so it'll average 96.
All right, he's got Danny Valencia to start this 8th inning. Valencia with an infield hit last time. Boy, there's that big curveball in there for a strike. Valencia grounded out, struck out. And another curve. It's 0-2.
And instantly already looks a lot better than his last appearance, which was back on the 14th at Houston, the last game against the Astros. That ball was getting a little sideways on him, had a little bit of a smaller break to it. Looks like whatever was going on that day for him, he just quickly made the adjustment.
It's almost like a spring training outing right now. He's thrown 3 pitches. He's going, oh, I'm out here working on my curveball.
Well, what's so great about the curveball, too, is it just gets these hitters off the fastball. Not that it's an easy fastball to get to anyway.
The 0-2. There's the heat, 99 miles per hour.
I lied. I said it touches 98. It actually can touch 99. And I'm sure he has seen triple digits before, but it's an explosive fastball. You see those slow breaking balls. If that one was a little bit lower, even though he's trying to go down and away, I actually like it up better for the strikeout.
This one fouled off, keeps the count 1-2. He's such a max effort guy, Kela. And I wonder if as a hitter, that's a little more unsettling than a guy who has that kind of easy 100.
I mean, listen, they're both difficult to hit, no doubt about it. I think sometimes the guys that are maybe real fluid and seem like they're not putting effort, the ball may jump on you a little bit quicker. But I mean, listen, 99 is difficult to hit no matter what. I think it's probably, yeah, a little bit unsettling when you get a big, strong kid the way that you do in Kela, and also knowing that the breaking ball is back there as well, right? It could be, hey, I'm going to power up a fastball and I'm going to grunt, or I'm going to finesse you with a really good curveball down in the zone.
Count goes to 2-2 on Valencia. Time asked for and granted. Mariners got a run in the 3rd. They got 3 runs in the 6th. They've had 9 total hits today. Martin Perez went 5 1/3. Leclerc, Claudio in relief, and now Keone Kela. So look at Scott Service, 2nd-year manager for the Mariners. It's been a tough couple of days for him. 2-2, and he gets Valencia swinging. First strikeout for Kela this afternoon. All right, time for us to take a Chevy game break. Let's send it back once again to Rick Renner. What? 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts. Aaron Judge?
Might be time to hang him up.
Yeah.
I know you're more of a Conforto guy as far as the King of New York. You still have his jersey?
Fastball in on Zunino, and it's 1-1. I'm just making the point that Conforto is a little overlooked, given the spotlight that has been afforded Aaron Judge. Aaron Judge certainly deserved it. And over the long haul, I guess I would favor Aaron Judge in that matchup, right? If I were going to buy long-term like they were stocks, I would go Aaron Judge.
So you want to hear a pretty great Aaron Judge story I heard over the weekend?
I would love it.
I was talking to Steve Sparks, radio guy, a former teammate of mine with the Houston Astros. And Aaron Judge was adopted as a child. That was his background. And in spring training, he was, a guy that they weren't sure whether or not he was going to make the team. And so his locker was situated in the area where most of those minor league invites are and the guys that are going to eventually get cut from camp. So as camp's going along, the lockers around him are emptying out, right? He ends up being the last man standing in that kind of corner of the spring training locker room completely by himself. One of the reporters comes up to him and says, And wouldn't it be a miracle if you made this team, especially, you know, considering where his locker was.
Benito strikes out swinging.
Looks at the report and goes, "Stop, I've already had my miracle." I was like, man, this guy is awesome because, of course, being adopted, a family welcoming him and raising him to become the man that he's become because he's got an unbelievable personality. I was like, man, you talk about perspective from a young kid. You think about, I know, been there trying to make a team. It seems like it's the most important thing in the world when you're going through that process. And to have great perspective at that age, I thought that was pretty awesome.
And I don't doubt for a second that helps his baseball, right? Being able to approach it from that kind of standpoint, take a little that self-induced pressure off you.
No doubt. You know, it can seem like, I said, when you're going through this and this is your job, that nothing else matters and everything revolves around you being successful and you're working hard and it's difficult to do. And if you fail, then you're a failure at life. I mean, it really can be a lot of pressure for guys, but if you can really have the life perspective there, and it's not that easy to be able to have it. And when you see guys that do have it, yes, they're freed up to be as good as they possibly can be.
Curveball popped up by Heredia, and Gallo is there to tuck it away. It's a quiet 1-2-3 inning for Keone Keller. So we go to the last of the 8th inning at Globe Life Park. Rangers lead by 6. Lucroy in the 8th. Turns away from a breaking ball. There's Delino. And there are some crazy shoes.
Crazy awesome.
Crazy awesome.
So we had that written on there, the front, right? First father-son duo to be drafted in the 1st round out of high school, of course. Him and his dad, but the picture on the side, that's cool, no doubt about it. What has happened there. But come on, man, what? Brings some tears to my eyes right there, having your kid, especially in the Expos uniform, which is pretty cool, the now defunct Montreal Expos.
Lucroy pops up, first base side, and Valencia puts it away. Here's the thing, those are incredible shoes. And the message, obviously, one that very few people can make.
Yeah.
But he runs so fast, no one's ever going to see it.
That's a good point.
Gallo fouls off strike one. How do those get made? Like,
I think elves paint them, right? Isn't that how it works?
Right, middle of the night kind of thing?
Yeah, I think they come from the North Pole. And elves, you know, the smaller hands and smaller paintbrushes, so it's easier. And they just paint it by hand. I think. I didn't ask, but I think that's how it works.
This ball hit well out to right field. Haniger, though, appears to have room. 2 away. No nonsense. Let's take a look at our AT&T matchup for tomorrow. Final game in this 3-game series. Christian Bergman has the start for the Mariners. Yu Darvish back out onto the hill for the Rangers. And a chance, potentially. Well, we'll get to that in a minute. We're in the bottom of the 8th inning yet. 6-run game. Don't get too far out in front. Here's Shin-Soo Choo. Choo 2 for 4. Single in the second, the big home run in the 6th inning, and it was a big home run. 440 feet to straightaway center field, and pulls this one foul. It's 0-2. A lot of things clicking right now for this Rangers offense, and you know there were some lean times not that long ago, but slowly but surely you saw 1 or 2 guys maybe picking things up a little bit, pieces falling into place. Part of that was Choo getting on with regularity. Delano DeShields starting to hit a little bit, getting Adrian Beltre back. Boy, now all of a sudden it's no longer just Elvis Andrus each night. 1-2.
They're in a great spot right now, and we've talked about it a bunch. And you know, you put your roster together and you kind of hope it stays healthy. Yeah, there's always going to be, you know, a guy or two, but it's been more than a guy or two, and more than just 1 or 2 significant pieces that have missed time because of injuries. But it is starting to feel like everything is coming together. Throw in there Cole Hamels' rehab start, feels like he's getting closer as well.
Choo sends this one out into left field, ranging toward the line. Gamble, and it's a 1-2-3, bottom of the 8th inning. So now to the 9th we go. Rangers 3 outs away from making it 2 straight.
By a score of 10-4, trying to wrap things up here. And how about this? The can't miss event of the summer hits South Beach when baseball's biggest stars take the field for the MLB All-Star Game. That's going to be July 11th, and it's only going to be on Fox. We were talking All-Stars today, you and I, a little bit. And Jeremy Jeffress now called out of the bullpen. Trying to finish this game up for the Rangers. Jeffress, a couple of days off, last pitch in the finale in Houston where he threw an inning and threw 15 pitches. He went through a spurt, as you see his pitch arsenal there. Lots of fastballs, that good 2-seam fastball at good velocity. But he went through a spurt where he had not pitched for 9 days. There were some off days in there, but 9 days, and then all of a sudden now went through a little stretch where he pitched 3 out of 5, a couple days off, and now here he is again. Jeff Bannister certainly would like to see him locked down. It was looking like a really nice win here. Good offense today from the Rangers.
A couple of 5-run innings, 4 home runs, including 3 long balls in the 6th. So the offense was really churning today. Martin Perez pitched into the 6th inning, and then the bullpen has been very sharp since. Jeffress And his first offering bounced to third. Beltre fought the sun a little bit on that one, but takes care of Mater. One away. You see there's a little bit of sunlight in the back part of the infield dirt over there on that left side of the infield, and I think that might have given Beltre just a little bit of trouble there momentarily.
It can happen as that sun peeks through, especially if you get a high chopper.
So now Ben Gamble. Gamble is 1 for 4. A base hit his last time up. That was in the 7th inning. It was a leadoff single against Alex Claudio. Claudio ended up navigating that 7th inning despite giving up back-to-back singles to start the 7th. It's left side of the 2-0. One fouled away. So the Mariners today, 4 runs, 9 hits. Usually, I mean, that's a decent enough offensive showing to keep you in a game. But Scott Service's pitching has let him down a little bit on this road trip or in the series. Yesterday, James Paxton got knocked around for 7 runs and 3 2/3. Today, it was Giovanni Gallardo and then Dan Altavilla, whose name kind of evokes more of a apartment complex.
Yeah, sure.
Or search engine.
Del Boca Vista has
Del
that kind of feel to it.
Yeah. 2-2 pitch and bounce down to first base. Gallo takes it to the bag, 2 away.
Right fielder Mitch Haniger.
Nice shot by Jeffers. Two quick ground ball outs.
Always good to see from him. Even though he does have the high velocity, he's not necessarily a huge strikeout pitcher, and so he relies on the location of his two-seam fastball, getting guys to hit the top half of the balls. You see Yu Darvish spinning that great slider. We talk about it a bunch, but this is important for Jeremy. It doesn't matter whatever the score is, just to see him, I think, throwing the ball well, getting those kinds of swings. Every once in a while, that two-seamer will get a little sideways on him, go a little horizontal, and that's when he can run into some trouble. Now, he let up 2 home runs in that Houston game that were, it's the best way I can describe them. It's a sound effect. I mean, they barely got out. Crawford seats, first row. But his game is just, he's always at his best when he's keeping the baseball on the ground with that nasty, nasty two-seam fastball. Shout out to the umps. They hung in there. Umpire and catcher.
Yeah. Yep, there they are. Behind Oppo, getting in position. They're anticipating a big play. 2-0 pitch.
What I don't like and what I've seen from the catcher is there's times where you see the good fastball, but he does not receive nearly as well as Jonathan Lucroy does. There's a lot of movement. You saw that one there. His hand went straight down. Like you can't, with the umpire standing there, you want to make sure you give him a good look at the fastball. You can't fake catch it and then, I mean, there's not even a real ball there, so it should be really easy to receive well.
Nice and quiet. Yeah. 2-2 to Haniger. Well, that'll get them up on their feet. 35,928 the paid attendance today. Love to see the Rangers complete back-to-back wins to start the series. Strike 3 called. That'll do it. A perfect 9th inning for Jeremy Jeffress and a great way to cap a nearly perfect Saturday afternoon at the ballpark.
This was a nice win for the Rangers going up against a division opponent. Always good to make sure you're winning games in your division, but I think more importantly, the swing of Mike Napoli, the healthy back. We saw a good hard base hit last night. 2 huge home runs for him today, but all the way around just swinging the bats very well. Chu had the homer, Odor had the homer, and the big innings, right? 2 5-run innings in the 1st and the 6th. That is what this offense is capable of doing, and now that they are near full health, there are a lot of pitchers around the American League that have a lot to worry about.
Well, and more good pitching from the bullpen. 3 2/3 scoreless today with 7 strikeouts, so a lot to talk about on the postgame show. Rick Renner, Mark McLemore, David Murphy, they'll be back to talk about that first inning explosion, give you all the player reactions and analysis to today's game. We'll be back here to talk about the way we're seeing Rougned Odor heating things up offensively. For CJ Nitkowski, Emily Jones, and our entire crew, this is Dave Raymond inviting you to stay with us. Rangers Live postgame show starts right after this.